Mic check. Michael. Mike. Come on, Mike. Oh, we made it to Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. It's good to see you. Good to be seen wherever you are, however you may be listening. Thanks for making us part of your day. And an early sub, Raina, 5 straight months. Thank you. I think we're good on the microphone. I don't think I've muted yet. Thanks for putting up with this morning. My daughter's mom had a doctor's appointment, and my daughter was sick, so she didn't go to school today. So we just had to adjust the schedule a little bit for that overlap. So thank you guys so much for being patient with us. I've got a lot of stuff to cover today, and just going to tell you off the top, not like the happiest day. Not going to be a feel-good day, but we'll do our best to get through it. We're starting to see what I think is irrefutable evidence that not even evidence. I don't know if evidence is the right word. Like we're in a situation now where the authoritarians who are pretending they weren't authoritarians are just being authoritarians, and I guess it's up to America to decide which direction we're going, because we can just slide into authoritarianism. There's not a whole lot we can do to stop it right now. Just hope that our MAGA friends at some point come to their senses and start applying some pressure here. Otherwise, we're in for a fucking wild ride for a while. I do want to start, though, by reminding everybody that we are crowd-funded. And up in the top left corner of our screen, wherever you're watching, we have our fund goal. I'm trying to use TikTok language that won't get us shut down immediately. And we got the P, the C, and the V, places that you can help us accomplish our goals. And I'll read messages from any of you, anything you send to one of those spots or in Super Chats. I'm happy to read your messages. If you're on TikTok, let's see if we can quickly get those likes up to 100,000. And if you're able to, make sure you're gifting. And that usually helps keep our live alive. And it keeps our HR rep C-Note around. Shout out C-Note. If you guys are a content creator on TikTok and you need somebody to help you when you get taken down, we got the best in the business. I don't know if C-Note's here, but if he is, raise your hand. If not, just look him up. C-N-O-T-E. You can find him on TikTok, and you can find him in the Discord server as well. Right off the bat, I want to show you some polling from Harry. Don't call me Enton over on CNN. This is to be expected. And I recognize that Republicans, when they see polling like this, are going to say things like, oh, well, you can't always believe the polls. That's true. You can't always believe the polls. And there may be some fuckery. And who knows what the districts will even look like come midterms. But as of right now, we've got polling heading into the midterms next year. And it looks like this.
So, we're talking about warning signs for the Republican Party. And I will just say, uh-oh for them. That is the phrase of the day. Uh-oh. Democrats lead in the generic congressional ballot, and you can see their lead is expanding. It's becoming bigger. Look at this in spring. CNBC, it was 2. Now.
Stop that real quick. I can't. It's so low volume. All right, here's what it is. That's as loud as I can make it.
It's 5. How about Ipsos? It was 1 for the Democrats. Now it's 4. How about the Wall Street Journal? It was 1, and now it is 3. So now the average lead here is 4, which is up from just about a point. That's about a 3-point move on average in the Democrats' direction. And of course, Kate Paul, when this is coming amidst the fights over redistricting, and I think there are going to be a lot of people wondering, wait a minute, are Republicans wanting to change the lines because they are losing, which they absolutely are on the generic congressional ballot. At this point, Democrats are winning, Republicans are losing, and maybe they're trying to change the lines in order to give themselves a little bit more wiggle room, given what we're seeing, a clear Democratic momentum on the generic congressional ballot.
How does it break down when you look at party ID?
Okay, so this is one metric, right? The generic congressional ballot. How about party identification, right? Because the idea is if you're a Democrat, you're very likely to vote Democrat. If you're a Republican, you're very likely to vote Republican. Take a look here, the party ID margin, Democrats versus Republicans. Look in Q1 of this year. Quinnipiac, Republicans had a lead of a point. Gallup, it was tight. Look at where we are now in the latest measures. Again, Democratic momentum. This is a 5-point move to the Democrats, according to Quinnipiac. Now they're up by 4 on party ID. How about Gallup? What we see is Democrats ahead by 3 points. So again, what you're seeing is clear movement towards the Democratic Party on a very key metric, because if you're identifying as Democratic, you're far more likely to vote for the Democrat. If you're identifying as Republican, you're far more likely to vote Republican. And I will note, Kate, that this is a change from last year, especially among Gallup, when Republicans held a rare lead going into the 2024 election. And that, of course, foreshadowed Donald Trump winning, foreshadowed Republicans taking the House, taking the Senate. And now, of course, Democrats are ahead here. This is a big uh-oh for Republicans as we are at the midpoint of 2025.
But you're also
as much as I'm not a huge fan of Democrats, and some of you were saying we need to make that bigger. It's going to be stuff like what we're covering today. It's going to be activity from you guys. It's going to be necessary for all of us to continually push information in front of Republicans' faces, because what they're getting in their face are lies, and some of them, no matter what. Like there's the Trump could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and it wouldn't cost him a vote. There's those people. Those people exist. Not a goddamn thing you can do with that. But there are people who you could show them a little bit of information, they don't care. But if you bombard them with this shit, eventually they have to care. By the way, Tim, thanks. Said I hope your daughter's doing well. She's doing fine. It's just a nasty cough. She'll be all right. And Illusion said Nancy Mace can't handle publicity at her any butt. It's not nice.
See some signs as well, even beyond polling, that you've been looking at, you think could indicate?
Yeah, okay, so this is the polling, right? You're looking at party ID, you're looking at the generic congressional ballot. How about the special elections? Look at this. In the median 2025 special election so far, Democrats in these different districts, get this, they're doing about 13 points better, the median Democrat, than Kamala Harris did in those same districts last year. That is a huge movement. And last year what we saw was, in fact, when you compare the 2024 special election results back to the Joe Biden baseline of 2020, Republicans were actually doing better than they did in 2020 in those. So again, this is clear movement towards the Democrats, and we're seeing it on 3 different metrics, 2 polling and 1 in actual election results.
Very interesting.
All right. So good polling for Democrats there. They've got to do something. And the messaging's got to be right going forward. Fortunately for Democrats, but unfortunately for all of us, it looks like the economic indicators are going to be in favor of the Democrats. And that sucks for all of us. That's the shittiest part about reporting all of this is if the economy was going well, and every indicator we see, like to the point where the White House is just trotting out liars to lie to you about what the economy looks like and telling you not to pay attention to reality. Just keep trotting out the same old fucking losers that nobody trusts. The White House is going to try and convince you that everything's going well. It's not. It's going horrifically. But it is a devastating reality in this country that in order for Democrats to win the midterms, it's going to take a crash, because there's just a lot of people who really buy into this billionaire worship and this anti-immigrant hysteria. The economy is going to drive the midterms, but I don't know that what we do about the Christian nationalism problem. I don't know what we do about the white nationalism problem. I think that for a long time, like, those people were forced into the corners, and when Donald Trump came along, it just brought them into the spotlight. He gave them a place because Donald Trump doesn't really fucking care who supports him. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about what you need. He just wants support. So he will gladly take on anybody. He will gladly platform anybody. He will gladly advocate for anybody as long as they're voting for him. And I think that that's going to be the challenge going forward, is that Republicans, people like Charlie Kirk, they recognize that the thing that fuels them, the energy and the drive for content, largely comes from angry white dudes. For just being honest, that's the drive of the Republican Party, and those people need to not feel unsafe, like violently, but they should not feel, or they should not go anywhere without being challenged. They should not have debate stages where they're not challenged. We're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to fight a real fight here, and I don't think ignoring them. I don't think trying to pretend they don't exist and trying to pretend that their audiences aren't growing. I don't think that's going to work. Like, we have to go and we have to challenge these people everywhere they go and consistently force those who support them or watch them to understand who they are and decide, like, am I really going to support open schmazzies here? Am I really on board with this, or should I pick a different route? And speaking of which, on Monday, I'll be over on Raging Tomato, debating Rob Knorr, which is going to be. I need you guys to know in advance. It's going to be a fucking nightmare. Now, I do have a strategy for Rob. I went back and watched part of our debate from a few years ago, which was a disaster. I do have a strategy that I think he'll really struggle with in this debate. But it's going to be a bit of a shit show, and you're all going to be frustrated. But we're going there. I'm going to keep going to these places, and I'm going to keep debating dipshits, and I'm going to keep exposing their grift. I'm going to keep exposing how they message and how they lie. And that's my goal for the next however long it takes to end fascism here in this country. Trudy said, happy Friday, kicking off 9 days away from work. Congratulations. This guy acts like he ain't far left. I don't know. Am I far left? Do you guys, for my audience, I don't know what I am. I don't really know. Do you think I'm far left? I think a lot of the audience is far left. I don't know. Do you guys think I'm far left? Oh no. Oh, Nor, not Rob Nor again. Nice, Benny. That's nice. Do you guys think I'm far left? I don't know. I don't give a fuck. What I do know is that I can defend my positions. That's what I do know. So, no, not far left. Fuck you guys. How dare you? How dare you say I'm not far left? Progressive at best? I didn't know I was going to get roasted today. Don't put me in the middle. All right. This was amazing. This is the type of shit we need. I honestly don't know who Mike Nellis is, and I follow him on Twitter. I'm not sure who he is, but it's this guy. I guess these two decided to wear matching shirts today. I don't know who any of these people are. Here's Mike Nellis. I did not even know that was Andrew. Andrew Wilson's there, and Piers Morgan. Mike Nellis went on Piers Morgan, I think yesterday, and exposed Piers Morgan for the absolute fear-mongering grifter that he is. And it was beautiful, and I think that you guys need to see this.
I think this conversation is really fucking stupid, and I have no other way to describe it. Like, there are like 5 dumbass liberals on the internet who decided that this ad was offensive.
Oh, they're talking about the Sydney Sweeney ad, which I agree. Not one person I know talked to me about Sydney Sweeney. Not one. This manufactured like anger about Sydney Sweeney, like us on the left, we're out here talking about this ad. I never talked about it. I didn't see anybody in the chat asking me to talk about it. I have felt no pressure to talk about it. Nobody I follow on Twitter has talked about it. Nobody I follow on TikTok or Instagram. Nobody has talked about this. And this is what the right does. They don't have any real policy. There's nothing there. Their president's a dipshit fucking idiot. And I mean this. Like, when I say dipshit fucking idiot, I don't mean it like I'm trying to be insulting. I mean Donald Trump is a dipshit fucking idiot. He's a moron. This guy has an IQ of less than 50. He can barely function. He's an idiot. And so you guys have to defend him. So all you can really do is fight these dumbass culture wars. The left is melting down about a jeans commercial. We didn't care. Literally nobody cared. It's a commercial. There's bigger things. But the right clings to that because all they want to do is own the libs. And I've said it a million times, and I hope this message is starting to get across. If you approach every one of these right-wingers for exactly what they are, you will win every debate. They do not want to debate you or your ideas. They want to debate a straw man that they've created to make them look either the same amount of crazy or a little less crazy. But if you don't allow them to strawman your position and strawman our position, they don't have anything to say. And that's what Mike Nellis is pointing out here. Like, literally nobody cares about this. Piers Morgan has a whole show about it. Charlie Kirk won't shut the fuck up about it. Tim Pool talks about it. Ben Shapiro talks about it. Fox News covers it for 3 days. Nobody on the left is talking about it. Nobody cares.
Dumbass liberals on the internet who decided that this ad was offensive. And then the entire conservative ecosystem decided to make it the biggest story of the day because they didn't want to talk about the economy. They didn't want to talk about Trump being in the Epstein files. They didn't want to talk about anything else that's going on. They made their entire personalities about this. Woke, Pierce, you've got a book coming out that woke is dead. You can't let woke die because you'll have no business model. You have no book to sell. You'll have no guest to book. Nobody who's interested in what you have to say. I think this
None of them. Take away their ability to talk about woke shit, and what do they have to say? Let's talk about economics. Remember what I just debated one of the guys on that panel. I desperately tried to get him to talk about economics, and he's like, I'm going to grant you this entire economic argument so that we can talk about social cohesion, because all I ever want to talk about is woke. Because that's all my audience cares about, because they're dipshits. They don't know any better. They just want to be angry at women and gay people and minorities, and so that's all we want to talk about. So I'll grant you your entire economic argument so that we can get down to the nitty-gritty on, is woke bad? That's the entire right. And that's how, like, I tweeted out this morning that the deep staters, like the people who are actually the deep state, which are the richest people among us, it's the BlackRocks, it's the Vanguards, it's all these people that control our economy. They love Donald Trump. Why? Because he's a dipshit. And why do you love Donald Trump? Because you're a dipshit. You're the most easily controlled group of people ever to exist in our country. You walk, like, ironically calling us sheep when you come in here to every day and say the exact same things, and we predict it. And I hope you keep coming back. And after months of you being here, I hope some of you are recognizing that every time I say something, I know your response before you say it. I could tell you your response, and then you still give me that response, because that's the depth of what the right has to offer. All the right is running cover for the deep state. The right is like, oh, we're going to do all these things to help the middle class. And every single time, it's just a gift to the richest among us. We now have the CEO of BlackRock talking openly about this decades-long goal he has, where he has tried to convince people in the government to allow 401k investments to include riskier investments like venture capital. And he talks about it like this opportunity. He's like, we have an opportunity to get access to this other market. And this other market is legitimately just people's retirements account. And why do they need that other market? Because they're out of money, right? They're so over leveraged with everything, with every business that they've invested in, which are all hyperinflated, that now they realize they are cash poor, and they're trying to get access to 401ks. They're trying to get access to Social Security. They're trying to get access to Medicaid and Medicare. If you ever wondered why no Republican can ever really explain to you why they hate Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, other than socialism, it's because that's what they've been told to do. And who's telling them to do that? Who's telling them that those things are bad? The private market, right? The VCs, the investors, because the investors need cash all the time, and they're completely over leveraged. You guys are walking yourselves into fascism. And it's us. It's our job to make sure that you don't. And some of you will never learn a goddamn thing. And 10 years from now, you'll be making the same arguments. You know how I know that? Because you made the same arguments 10 years ago. And you made the same arguments 10 years before that. And none of your arguments have changed, despite the fact that for decades, the data has backed up the fact that trickle-down economics doesn't work. Regressive tax policies don't work. Low taxes on rich people doesn't work. Not spending on social safety programs, it doesn't work. All of this stuff is a complete failed experiment, but you don't know that because you don't ever look into anything. And I'm going to expose this a little bit today because we had a moron in the White House with Donald Trump, a guy who was part of the Laffer organization, the Laffer curve. That's who the White House is trotting out now. A guy who was debunked 20 years ago and nobody takes seriously anymore because his data is always wrong. And that's who the White House is relying on. Why? One, because Trump's an idiot, so that it's convincing. And two, because the people that are actually running everything, and I don't mean running everything like they're telling Trump what to do. They just trick him because he's dumb. But the people that are actually controlling our economy, they just want you to think that we should keep giving them money. Why? Because they're over leveraged. They desperately need money. They're in trouble. And so they're going to just, as far as they can go to get the government to get rid of all restrictions so they can get access to all your money. That's where they're headed. I'm going to skip this part on Stephen A, actually. I saw this right before we went live this morning. This is from Fox News. Let me check comments real quick. I read that one. Got that. Reminder: it is Friendly Friday today, so we'll cut an hour off. We'll cut off an hour early. So anything you could do to help us knock out that gift goal before Friendly Friday would be greatly appreciated. Here's breaking news from Fox News this morning.
News sources are telling us that New York Attorney General Leticia James and her office are under investigation by the Department of Justice in relation to her case against President Trump. Justice correspondent David Spunt is in Washington. What do you know, David?
Well, hi, Dana. Two well-placed sources familiar with the probe tell Fox News that New York Attorney General Leticia James and her office is under investigation by the DOJ here in Washington. We're told that Attorney General Pam Bondi signed off on the probe. Subpoenas were sent to James's office, and there is a grand jury investigation underway in the New York State capital of Albany.
Remember the other day when I said that, I think it was yesterday, when Republicans tell you we're winning, what they really mean is they have given everything to Donald Trump and that they only care if Donald Trump wins. Donald Trump is wasting our tax dollars to go after the people who sued him and, by the way, won. And now that's what we're doing. That's what our DOJ is wasting their fucking time on. That's so important to our country. It's very important to our country that we investigate Leticia James. And guess what? It's going to go nowhere. It's going to go absolutely nowhere. It's just a way for them to distract from the fact that Donald Trump still, to this day, has not released the Epstein files, and the economy is on the verge of collapse, which I'm going to show you here in a little bit. They just want to distract you with this, and they're going to waste your money.
The specific investigation, my colleague Jake Gibson, Ashley Oliver, and myself are being told involves deprivation of rights, which in plain language means someone in a position of legal authority violating someone else's constitutional or legal rights. Those sources tell Fox News the DOJ is going after James because she took then former President Donald Trump to court, quote, simply because she didn't like him and campaigned on getting him. DOJ, led by Bondi, believes she violated his First Amendment rights dealing with free speech. James has said before she believed Trump inflated his net worth to get good deals on loans from lenders and other.
The DOJ is, for some reason, act like this is what a personal attorney does. It is not the role of the DOJ to sue somebody for the president. The president has lawyers. He can sue her. Why is the DOJ involved in this? The DOJ now is involved in civil litigations. And by the way, their argument is that Donald Trump's First Amendment rights were violated when they ruled that he can't lie to obtain a loan. Now the First Amendment also covers lying to obtain loans. That's the argument from our government right now. It's not fair that you prosecuted Donald Trump. You should be able to lie on a loan application. It's speech. All speech is free. You should be able to do it. What in the fuck? That's really what they're doing right now? That's the argument. That's First Amendment speech. You should be able to lie on bank loans. Okay. Cool.
Financial benefits. Ms. James won in a court judgment of over $450 million against the Trump organization. Trump is appealing, and it's pending. The entire scope of the grand jury probe in Albany, Dana, is unclear.
MAGA, calm down in the chat. I'm not arguing with you bitches in the chat today. Shut the fuck up. Okay? If you want to come up here and talk to me today, you can come up here. But my God, just learn something. Why is it that when we play a video, you guys freak out and start talking about Kamala Harris? You will do anything to not pay attention to what's going on. And it's embarrassing. You're grown-ups. You're over 18, I hope. You are grown-ass adults, and the very mention of something about Donald Trump turns you into hysterical children. Anything but negativity about Trump. Shut the fuck up. Come talk to me about it. You're welcome to come up. You can message Jen on Discord. It's JENNDUBB1. It's the same as the Venmo username there. You can come up and you can talk to me about it. But I'm not debating you in the chat today. However, I am going to call you hysterical little bitches all day. All goddamn day. Because that's what you are. It's like, it's not even good whataboutism either. Can one of you tell me why Trump's First Amendment was violated by lying on bank loans? Could you just stay on subject? That'd be great.
Clear grand juries are secretive, but we've learned from these well-placed sources it stems from a recent strike force set up inside the Justice Department to investigate an alleged plot to tie Trump to Russia in 2016. Sources say that strike force has expanded to other topics. Now, to recap, the Justice Department has initiated grand jury proceedings in Albany, New York, against the Empire State Attorney General Leticia James. But remember, this is important. A grand jury simply decides if there's enough evidence to indict. To be clear, we are told this is very early in the process, and no one, as I speak to you right now, is facing any charges at this time.
Yeah, of course not. And they never will. But you guys should be embarrassed that your attorney general put her own name on an accusation that lying on bank documents is First Amendment protected speech. That's what you should be worried about. You should be worried about how the paint chips that Pam Bondi apparently is eating on a regular basis. You should be concerned about the mental health of this administration, because what they're saying isn't like, it's not corrupt, it's not just wrong, it's just flat out stupid. That is hands down the dumbest First Amendment argument I've ever heard in my life. That fraud is protected First Amendment free speech. Fraud? You guys are mad at me? Good luck with that. Honestly, I take it back. Keep talking, but talk more publicly. I hope all of you start your own YouTube channels, and I hope you get millions of viewers, and I just want people to hear you talk. As soon as you guys open your mouth to try and defend any of this, it'll be a win. It's a win for this country, and I can't wait for Republicans, like the generic Republicans, to take control of your party again and send you guys back to the sewers where nobody listens to you, where you came from. Trump has given you all this like oversized ego that you don't deserve. You are the dumbest people in your party. The smartest people in your party have been run out, because there's nothing more frustrating than being told what to do by absolute dipshits. And like, your time is running out. You're fortunate right now that the leader of your party is quite possibly the dumbest human ever to occupy office. And so by comparison, you guys look average, but you're not. You are very, very below average. And as soon as the dipshit's gone, whether it's the end of his term or once he's dead, you guys will all be relegated back to not being heard from. Nobody's going to give a shit about what you say ever again. So enjoy your time in the spotlight now, but even the Republicans aren't going to listen to you anymore, because it's impossible to defend this. That's why most Republicans with a degree have just they're like, I'm out for a while. That's why you have Nancy Mace, a legitimate high school dropout, running for governor in South Carolina, and South Carolinians are like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because you guys are dumb too. Yeah, the dumb people don't sound smart to people who aren't dumb. But Nancy Mace, that's a dumb person. And if you find yourself going, I like this Nancy Mace lady, that's not a good sign for you. Trump is now, before we jump into some of the meat here, I want you to see what Trump is doing. This is coded language. Now, for the MAGA who haven't got this message yet, what Trump and his cronies do is they tell you what to think. So none of you know what I'm about to talk about today. You haven't seen the outline today. And the reason I'm showing you this is because as I cover this topic today, all of you are going to repeat this or some version of this, because you're not going to understand what I'm talking about, because it's going to be math and numbers and words with syllables, with more than 2 syllables. Okay, so you're not going to understand any of it, and I understand that, and I've already prepared for that. So just to save you a bit of time, if you are here in your MAGA, could you screenshot this, please? And then while I'm talking, you can just read off the parts of these sentences that you think you're supposed to say, and you'll align with each other. But I'm helping you out so we can get your arguments ready, so you don't have to Google anything. I'm just going to give you all of your arguments before I show you the data. Trump said tariffs are having a huge positive impact on the stock market. Almost every day, new records are set. Now, some of you might not know that that's the case with every president ever. That almost every day of a presidency, the stock market is slowly going up. That's how if you look at our stock market, it's like that for like 50 straight years. So this isn't unusual, and it has nothing to do with tariffs, but this is why Trump is telling you this. Because what you're about to hear from me is a bunch of stuff about tariffs that is alarming. And remember, you're not smart enough to get it, so you need to go back to the stock market. So for the MAGA here in the chat, every time I talk about these tariff numbers in a minute, make sure that in the chat you say, "Oh, yeah, well, the stock market's at an all-time high," so that's your response, okay? I'm just helping you navigate this. In addition, hundreds of billions of dollars are pouring into our country's coffers. So then you guys got to talk about the revenue generated from tariffs. You're going to talk about the stock market, and then you're going to talk about the revenue generated from tariffs. But wait, real quick, before you do that, make sure that you don't accidentally say that tariffs are paid by Americans. Make sure you continue with the lie that it's paid by other countries, or leave that part out entirely. But do your best to not go against Daddy Donald and say that those are paid by Americans, okay? Leave that part out. And if somebody asks you who pays the tariffs, if one of these smart asses in my chat, if they have the audacity to ask you, MAGA, who pays the tariffs, change the subject, okay? Make sure you change the subject. Do something talk about open borders, or like men and women's sports, or say, oh, like Kamala would be any better, or say something about Joe Biden being old. Don't answer the question, okay? Because you don't want to be in opposition to dear leader. So when they ask, just change it, okay? Change the subject. Don't you dare say who pays tariffs. If a radical left court ruled against us at this late date, which they're about to, in an attempt to bring down or disturb the largest amount of money, wealth creation, and influence the USA has ever seen, it would be impossible to ever recover or pay back these massive sums of money and honor. I don't know. I don't actually know what he's saying there. If a court ruled that Trump can't just unilaterally do these tariffs, we wouldn't have to pay back that money. So I don't know what that means. So like all things with MAGA, just ignore that. It was nonsense. I can't even make sense of it for you. And if I can't understand it, you've got no fucking shot. So let's just ignore that part. Maybe he'll clarify that later, but don't worry about it. Okay. It would be 1929 all over again, a Great Depression. Now, remember to say that this would be 1929 again. But when my liberals here in the chat, these crazy radical communist, socialist, feminist, blue-haired women tell you that the crash, the Great Depression, came after decades of you trying to use tariffs to pay for everything, ignore that too. Okay, don't engage in that. You've got to ignore that. So when you bring up 1929 and then people say like, yeah, that was when that was the robber barons, and then we tried to pay for everything with tariffs so that we didn't tax rich people, just ignore that. Don't cover that. If they're going to rule against the wealth, strength, and power of America, which is you guys, by the way, you're all rich. Remember that. All of you are rich. It's not just the rich that are getting richer. It's all of you. You're rich. Don't look at your bank accounts. They should have done so long ago at the beginning of the case, where our entire country, while never having a chance at this kind of greatness again, would not have been put in 1929 style jeopardy. There is no way America could recover from such a judicial tragedy, but I know our court system better than anyone. There is no one in history that has gone through the trials, tribulations, but also amazingly beautiful things can happen. That doesn't make sense. There is no one in history that has gone through the trials, tribulations, and uncertainties such as I, and absolutely terrible, but also amazingly beautiful things can happen. What? Hold on. I know our court system better than anyone. There's no one in history that has gone through the trials, tribulations, and uncertainties such as I. I get that part. And in addition to that, absolutely terrible, but also amazingly beautiful things can happen. All right, I think he might have got distracted there. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Our country deserves success and greatness, not turmoil, failure, and disgrace. God bless America. The reason that Donald Trump is saying this is there's going to be court cases ruling against him, and then our economy is going to crash. But our economy is going to crash anyways. So he's setting the stage, and just so you guys know this, make sure that when the economy starts to crash, you need to blame the judges. Okay? It's not Trump's fault. It's not his tariff policies. It's the judges. Okay? We got that? We're all on the same page now? We've pre-programmed all your answers? Great. Now let's get into it. If you guys need reminders of how to respond, you're just going to at Jen MAGA. If you don't know what to say, at Jen and say, Jen, can you help me? I forgot what my pre-programmed answer is supposed to be today. I know I'm not going to say anything specific, but I forgot what they are. And when all else fails, if you forget what the answers are, or if you don't understand what I'm saying, just insult me. Call me a beta or something. Say that I'm funded by the left, or bring up communism. Just do something like that, okay? When you inevitably get lost. And now prepare to get lost. Get yourself a snack. This is going to be very confusing for you. Remember when Trump's CEA chair, Stephen Moran, assured us that his policies would cause the dollar to rise, and that would thereby soften the extent which tariff-fueled higher prices would that boost inflation and undermine purchasing power. Remember when he said that the value of the dollar would rise? That was Trump's economic strategy, right? He said, yeah, we're going to have some inflation, but the value of the dollar is going to rise so much that it won't matter. Oh, fuck! How's that going? This is important. In order for you guys to deal with inflation, in order for our country to deal with inflation, we need the value of the dollar to go up. Okay, this is how this works. But if the value of the dollar goes down and inflation goes up, then you can't buy as much stuff. You can't afford as much stuff because your dollar doesn't go as far. So this thing that they told us would happen, the exact opposite happened. And so that sucks. And it's further evidence that everybody around Trump is an idiot. They know nothing about economics. Even Scott Bessent, who is Trump's main advisor, is now getting cornered, and he's now having to tell the truth. This is Eugene Robinson, who does this is just beautiful journalism, chef's kiss, pins Scott Bessent down and forces Scott Bessent to admit who pays tariffs. Now, remember, Republicans, this is the time. Scott Bessent's going to tell you who really pays tariffs. Plug your ears, okay? Because tariffs are paid by other countries. Remember, Trump told you that they're paid by other countries. So plug your ears for this one. I don't want you to listen because this is going to be confusing.
There has been some confusion. So we've got a tariff of, what, 50% on Brazil now, I think. And so if someone here, an importer, wants to buy Brazilian products today or tomorrow and import them, they're going to pay 50% to the Treasury. And so who writes that check?
Well, a couple of things. First, we could have substitutions, so there's very little that only comes from Brazil. It could come from Argentina, it could come from...
The question is, who writes the check? And Scott Bessent, he's talking to you right now, Republicans. This is a good deflection. Remember, when somebody asks who writes the check, don't answer it. Just say, well, we can just get it elsewhere, okay? But don't answer the question, because this is going to be in opposition to Trump. Trump has told you that other countries pay tariffs. So now's the time, MAGA, fingers in the ears, please. And it goes in the hole, right? You don't want to be up here or down here. In order to not hear sound, you got to take that finger and it's got to go in the hole, okay? Otherwise, you're accidentally going to hear this, but here you go.
Right, but assuming it does come from Brazil, say, or it comes from any country with a tariff, who writes the check to the Treasury?
Well, the check is written to the person who receives it at the dock in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying so hard. God bless him. So who do they pay it to? To the person who receives it at the dock. Yeah, and who might that be, Scott Bessent? Would that be Customs and Border Patrol, a.k.a. the federal government? Yeah, that would be the federal government.
The check is written by the person who receives it at the dock. So the tariff is paid in this country by the importer. Is that right?
But the Brazilian exporter could decide that they want to keep market share. They could lower their price so that the full 50% of the tariff, say, and
they could eat part of the cost. They could eat part of the tariff,
which is what we've seen.
Okay. But the check is written by the importer, right, at the dock.
Yeah, and then the importer can pass it on or not.
Hey, MAGA in the chat, you're doing great. Make sure when you get lost to insult me. Tell me I don't understand tariffs and insult me in the chat. You guys are doing so good today. You take directions so well. You're good little boys and girls. Daddy's home. Daddy's home. You're doing great today. Make sure to keep insulting me. Scott Bessent, now for my audience, Scott Bessent, of course, there is saying, well, yeah, they pay it, but the other countries could just eat that. Like, they could lower the price so that the price stays the same, which they're not doing. Or the person who buys the product or who imports the product could just take a loss and lose all that money. That's now the argument of this administration. Yes, it's going to cost you money unless all of these businesses and other countries want to take the loss instead. That usually happens. Companies in other countries are notorious for saying, you know what I want to do? I want to not make any profit. In fact, I want to only take losses. It doesn't even make sense. Even if you're saying like they're going to take a loss, the other countries, why? That's worse. Shut it down. A better option is not exporting anything. You can either lose $0 or you can lose more than $0, but more than zero is worse than zero. See, the way numbers go, MAGA, let me help you out with this. If you're a business, you want to bring in more money than you spend. So if you're going to sell, let's say I've got I got a lip balm here, and let's say that this lip balm costs me $1, just $1, okay? So if I want to sell this, stay with me, stay with me. I know it's math, but this is going to be easy. Stay with me. If I want to sell it or if I want to make a profit, I have to sell this for more than $1. So quick test, MAGA. If I sell this for 75 cents, will I make money, MAGA? No. What if it's $1.25? Then do I make money? Yes. So do you think companies would want to sell this for less than it costs? No. You want to sell it for more than it costs. So when Scott Bessent says the companies could choose to lose money, they probably won't, because that's bad, right? Bad. Somewhere Andrew Wilson's going, define bad. Okay, do we understand economics now? If it costs you $1 and you want to make a profit, you got to sell it for more than $1. You can't go the other way, okay? There we go. All right, guys, on the same page now. I want to show you a chart here. We do what we know for sure historically is that blanket tariffs like this, or taking an economy and trying to build an economy on tariffs, it doesn't work for growth, and it's bad for inflation. So in November, the Trump administration and the Bureau of Economic Analysis forecasted where we would be at right now, and that forecast in November said that GDP growth would be about 2.1%, and that inflation would be 2.2%. Essentially, GDP growth and inflation in lockstep. And that's okay. If you have inflation and GDP at about the same rate, that's good. Unfortunately, now we have the real numbers, and that didn't work out. Actual GDP growth, and this excludes food and energy prices here for inflation. Actual GDP growth for 2025 is 1.2%, and inflation is 3%. That's bad. You want these numbers to be close together. You don't want GDP growth to be lower. You want it to be higher, and it's lower, and lower is bad because GDP is gross domestic product, and so you want that increasing, not decreasing, right? Were we there? So all these things that Trump promised you and all these numbers that he showed you during the election, they're not correct. They're turning out not to be correct. So when he goes out there, remember, when he goes out there and he tells you everything's going really, really well, it's not. It's doing the opposite of really, really well. Tanya said, hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you. Amy said their answer while crushing out is lock her up. It's Hunter's laptop. Wait, open borders. Yeetus said, hot damn, I can sue someone because they don't like me. Yeah, that's right. In Trump's America, you could literally lie and do anything, and it doesn't matter because that's protected speech. You can lie on bank loans, whatever. All right, when we look at inflation for goods and services, that's measured usually by PCE, which is personal consumption expenditures. I want to show you the PCE chart. Now, if the chart is going up, that's going to mean more inflation, and if the chart is going down, that's less inflation, right? So this is the PCE chart for goods and services from April until the end of June. And I just want you to take a look at this. When Trump says inflation is down, he's wrong. And the reason we show April to June is because before April, we didn't have tariffs. Okay, most tariffs kicked in April. And what have we seen with consumer goods? We have seen a steady rise of 2.6%. We're now at 2.6%. Bad. Inflation up, bad. Inflation down, good. Inflation up, bad. Inflation down, good. I remember when I was in school, like computers were just still like, they're still kind of new. And we had this in elementary school. There was a guy, my teacher's name was Mr. Asbury. Shout out to Mr. Asbury if you're out there. And he would teach us about computers. And he would go, keyboard input, monitor output, monitor output. And that's how we're doing this today. We're gentle parenting the MAGA today so that you guys can learn how numbers work. And you don't have to just gut feel. BRX said, RTP's condescending tone seems like an Andrew Wilson impression. Maybe the MAGAs will finally understand. They like to be degraded. That's kind of how they are spoken to. So this is leading to a runway of inflation. It is not about to get better. I was at the grocery store yesterday, and I was just picking up a prescription. I'm like, you know what? I want a steak tonight. And I went to get a New York strip, like an 8-ounce New York strip. It was $18. I could not believe what I was looking at. Like, the cost of beef is skyrocketing. Why? Because we import a lot of beef. And so now the American grown beef is in high demand with a short supply. And so now beef prices are rising. So hope you guys don't like beef. All right, let's look at this. This is, I didn't label this very well. Hold on one second.
Thanks for the sub.
All right. So tariffs, one of the things that tariffs do that I don't think we probably don't talk about enough, is that they drive up warehousing and inventory costs. And those prices have to be passed along to consumers. So when the tariffs are implemented, it's not just the cost of goods. It's also the cost of storing the goods. It's also the cost of infrastructure. And this is going to feel really inflationary, especially for like essential goods. So this, like middle-class Americans, poor Americans, this is really going to hurt. For those who are wealthy, this isn't really, they're not going to feel this in the same way. And so you're going to have a lot of people within the Trump administration, and you're going to have a lot of people in like higher income brackets that aren't going to feel inflation. It will feel the same to them. Like it's just going to be marginal. They probably don't notice, a $1 increase in eggs. But as the prices rise, then consumers lean more on credit, right? Especially middle class and poor consumers. You don't have enough money to pay for your groceries. What are you going to do? Are you going to starve? No, you're going to hope that you can put it on a credit card and those prices come back down, and then you can pay off that credit card. So this first chart is from the Federal Reserve, and it's going to show the net percentage of banks reporting increased willingness to make consumer installment loans. So this is banks saying, uh-oh, people are over leveraged and they're not going to be able to pay. So this is like if your bank offers you like monthly payments. Usually in this case, they shut off your credit card though. So the bank will say, look, you have a $10,000 balance on your credit card. It doesn't look like you can make the minimum payments. The interest is compounding. So banks now, we're seeing an uptick in 2025 of their willingness to close consumer credit cards and offer payment plans. Why? Because it's not because banks are generous. It's not because banks feel bad for you. It's because banks know that this is unsustainable and they won't get their money back. So what they have to do is they have to take away your ability to use that credit card and then give you a repayment option, usually at a lower interest rate. Like it'll be some annualized interest rate. They'll give you like 24 months of the exact same payment every month, and then you can't use that credit card. So that is in a sharp increase. You can see the other times we've had sharp increases. Right here, you'll see this dip, and then you had 2008, and then you, of course, have the COVID pandemic, and now we're headed again. This is always a sign that a recession is on the way. You have these deep drops. And when they are coupled with increased prices, you'll see that you have a rise. So you look at the banks willing to give these installment loans, and this lines up perfectly with total consumer credit owned and securitized. So this is just consumer credit, this is percentage from a year ago. You see a sharp rise there too. So now for just basic goods, as these rise, we see the cost of goods rise, we see the amount of credit card debt rise, and we see the banks willing to cut off that risk to themselves and do these installment loans. This is very bad. This is never a good sign. There's never been a time when this is a good indicator. You can't look back on history and find a time where this data in confluence is a good indicator. And by the way, this is the beginning. This is the beginning. These things are being caused by tariffs, and a lot of the tariffs are just now kicking in. Some of them kicking in next week. These prices will continue to rise. What are you going to do when people are already over leveraged with credit card debt, which means they're already spending beyond their means, and you raise the cost of groceries? What the fuck do you think's going to happen? Well, it's the libs. It's the libs. If they wouldn't have lied about Hunter Biden's laptop, this is probably Joe Biden's fault. It's probably Joe Biden's fault. All right. So then what's our government's response? Does anybody know what our government has done in response to these numbers? Does anybody know? There's a new story out today that I didn't know about. I'll give you a hint. It's regarding inflation data. Does anybody know what change they made recently in May? Right about the time the tariffs kicked in. Do you know what this Trump administration did? Anybody know? There you go. There we go. There we go. Gobbissy. There we go. Look at this. We got a good MAGA here. They're doing all the talking points I told you guys to do. Everybody give it up for Job Issy. GDP at 3%. Remember, I told you to talk about GDP. Stock market hit a record high. Inflation is lowest than 8 years. That's actually not true. God, you fucked it up a little bit. Wages are up. Yeah. You were all thirsty. See, good job. Well done. Well done. Everybody, round of applause for the MAGA who listened early on when I told you guys how to respond to this. Don't respond to anything I'm saying. Just do the talking points that Trump laid out in his tweet earlier. Well done. I'm very proud of you all. Well done, MAGA. Everybody give it up in the YouTube chat for, who was that? Job Issy. You did great. Followed directions almost to a T. You getting 80% of it right was unbelievable. Well done. All right, so here's what our government decided to do. They're like, fuck, inflation's going up. That's a problem. How could we spin these numbers? Couldn't figure out a way to spin the numbers. So what you're going to see here first is this is the share of prices based on guesses from less comparable products or from prices collected in other regions of the country have been rising. So this is BLS. This is the data collected. The data collected is our government for prices. What the fuck is this? They're just not collecting the data anymore. Do you see that? They just said, fuck it. You see that? Somebody else want to explain this? Yeah, we're just not going to report on it anymore. It just happens the same time tariffs kick in. Yeah, we're not going to report that anymore. This is authoritarianism. They literally are telling you, Trump literally scripted what you guys were supposed to say, which you're doing magnificently. You guys are great little foot soldiers. And the good news is, at the end of this, you're still a broke bitch, but probably more of a broke bitch, because you're a broke bitch and a dumb bitch and a wrong bitch. But all the rich people got richer, so you helped them out. And the government, our government's just like, fuck it, we're not going to tell you guys anything anymore. We're just going to hide it. That's pretty wild, isn't it? That's probably not good. This was from Spencer Hackerman. He said the government's literally not collecting actual inflation data anymore. They're just estimating what they think inflation is. They suddenly changed this in May of 2025, right before the tariffs started getting collected. Like, could it be more obvious here? Just going to guess. They're just going to tell you what inflation is. Yeah, there you go. There you go, MK Ultra. There you go. Point at me. That's right. I'm just mad. That's right. Well done. God damn it, you guys can. I get it. I get why these MAGA politicians love you. You guys are programmable. You follow orders well. You follow direction well. These MAGA in the chat today, A+ for you guys. You're doing all your homework. You're reciting it perfectly. This is terrific stuff. This is an A+ performance by all of you guys today. Everybody give it up for the MAGA in the chat. That's right. Attack me. Tell me I'm dumb. I'm showing you data. I don't want to believe it. You guys are doing great. Very proud of you today. Here's what Scott Bessent even said today. Now, remember, MAGA, those two holes on the side of your head, those are for your fingers right now. The two ones on the side, the ears, you're going to want to stuff your fingers in your ears here, because Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, is about to tell you that we have inflation. You know that thing they keep telling you isn't happening? He's about to tell you it is. So plug your ears, and you're going to want to ignore this, okay? Don't pay attention to this.
Brett, good to see you. You know, on this day, obviously a lot of focus on what the tariffs will do. And there's been a lot of projection. Obviously, the Fed has not lowered rates yet, thinking that perhaps it is going to trip some inflation. You had the Walmart earnings call where they said we're positioned to manage the cost pressure from tariffs as well as or better than anyone, but even at the reduced levels.
I don't think half the country's stupid. I appreciate you asking that, Jag. First of all, half the country didn't vote for Trump. There's 340 million people here, and 70 whatever million voted for Trump. So it's not even half. And I don't think all of them are stupid, which is why your poll numbers are tanking. Some of you are smart. But the ones that come to my chat every day, you are dipshits, and I will demean you. But for whatever reason, like, if you can be mad at me for demeaning them, but doesn't it strike you as odd that before I did any of this, I told them what to say, and then they said it? That doesn't strike you at all? What do you want me to do with that? You want me to just pretend that's not happening? What do you want to do? Well, you might be right about all of this, but do you really have to call names? Yeah, I do. I do have to call names, because I've tried gentle parenting. We've tried being nice. We've tried explaining it to you. We tried all of it. So now, just publicly, we're going to humiliate you. We are never going to let you say anything unchecked, because you're fucking stupid. And you're fucking stupid because you're fucking lazy. Some of you might have the intellectual capacity to understand any of this, but you're so obsessed with Donald Trump and you worship him so much that you don't want to know this. And so when I tell it to you, I'm also going to demean you. I'm going to shame you, because I think all of you have shame kinks. And I think that this is probably the best way to do this. I watched Tucker Carlson do it yesterday. I watched Tucker Carlson. He was my inspiration. That's your guy. I'll play the clip real quick. I'll play it in a minute. I learned yesterday, and that's why I'm changing my tone. You guys need to be talked to in a demeaning way. You need to be talked to like a dad, a mean dad talks to his disobedient son. So we're going to spank you. We're going to pull your pants down. We're gonna give you a little mark. We're gonna demean you. We're gonna make you feel bad about yourselves. That's what we're doing now, because I've now learned that although that's not how my audience likes to be treated, you guys like that. You like to be shamed. So that's what we're doing now. And if you're not one of those people who likes to be shamed, And if you're one of those people who can look at this data and understand it, just know it's not for you. It's for the people who are doing exactly what they knew exactly what we knew they would do.
The higher tariffs will result in higher prices. You're saying no.
I am saying that thus far, we have not seen a transmission into prices. And if we do, it could be a one-time price adjustment.
Now, that's a little bit of a lie because prices are up. We have seen prices increase. Walmart is on their earnings call. Every major CEO on earnings calls in the last 2 weeks have said, we're going to raise our prices. We have to. Our cost of imports are more expensive.
But what we are seeing thus far is the manufacturers are eating it. So the overseas companies just taken advantage of the U.S. for so long that the U.S. companies are shouldering a lot of the tariffs, and perhaps we'll see some priced on to consumers. But overall, inflation has been very nascent, and as a matter of fact, 2 months ago we saw inflation drop for the first time in 4 years.
Yeah, why'd you go back 2 months, Besson? Why'd we go back 2 months? 2 months ago, the tariffs had not yet been applied, and inflation dropped. And then what happened once we started applying tariffs, Scott Besson? Why'd you go back 2 months there? Oh, I don't know. It couldn't possibly, because then it rose again once we did tariffs. Oh. If you were honestly, if you're this dumb, you should probably get somebody to be next to you when you're on the internet. If you're buying this shit, he's admitting it. We are seeing inflation, and there have been instances, these manufacturers, some of them have eaten the cost and importers, because what Trump was telling them all along is, hey, we're going to do tariffs, but it's just to negotiate good deals, and then the tariffs will go away. Well, now the tariffs aren't going away. Turns out he's negotiating worse deals. So all these importers are picking up, on average, a 10 to 15% increase of the cost to import, and they can't eat that forever. So now these places like Walmart are like, you know what? We can't eat it. Looks like tariffs are here to stay, so we're raising your prices, which would be fine if the value of the dollar was going up. But as we showed you, the value of the dollar has plummeted. So your dollar doesn't go as far. And that's because prices go up. We understand that, right? Like the value of the dollar, it's not like it just I don't think the dollar is more valuable, or I think it's less valuable now, so it's fallen. The value of the dollar falls when it buys less, right? The only way for the dollar to buy less is if prices go up, right? If I have $1, let's say it cost me $1 to buy a pack of gum, and then now it's $1.50 to buy a pack of gum. That dollar doesn't go as far, right? But if the pack of gum costs me 75 cents, now my dollar has more value. It's a stronger dollar, right? You can't look at a chart that says the value of the dollar is going down and also say, I think prices are going down. They can't. That's how this works. That's how you determine the value of the dollar, how much you can buy. So prices go up, value of the dollar, that works. Yeah. Then you have to make more money, right? Yeah, this guy knows what he's doing, and he's intentionally BSing on behalf of Trump. If he were to be truthful, he'd be caught in a heartbeat, like we've seen him before. Thank you, C-No. I love that. Scott Besson is not an idiot. This is an intelligent guy. And by the way, if Scott Besson worked for Joe Biden, every Republican in here would never stop talking about George Soros. You know why? Because this was George Soros' right-hand man for 20 years. Everything he did in his life was with George Soros. Virtually every dollar he made for 20 years was with George Soros. This is a Soros plant. So yeah, he knows what he's doing. And if this was a Biden guy, you guys would lose it. That's all we would hear. It would be flooded with MAGA in the chat going, oh, George Soros, George Soros. But you're not going to say it because it's Trump's guy, right? All right. Now I want to show you this guy that they trotted out of the White House. This is unbelievable. I got to skip some, Kim. I forgot. So I'm going to go down to 16 here. This is the White House deputy press secretary, which I didn't know existed. I don't know what his name is.
The American.
I don't know what this guy's name is. Anybody know what this guy's name is? I've never seen him before. Have we played it before? Imagine being not quite good enough at your job that what is that lady's name? Caroline Levitt is above you. You're like, you're good, but you're not Caroline Levitt good. Yeah, that's this guy. Now he's gonna just lie to you.
If you look at the economy, the American people feel so much better than they did 4 years ago or even 1 year ago today. When you go to the gas station.
Yeah, they're relying on feelings. Hey, don't look at the data, all right? Don't look at it. You all feel better, right? You all feel better? So let me cover these chats real quick. Amy Lynn said they enjoy spankings. They call Dear Leader Daddy weird. Tony said about time you got on my level with these people. Nobody would ever be happier than me getting down in the gutter than Tony. Good to see you, dude. And Brianna says, what's the tariff rate to import your meat? It's high. It's very high. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. And I'll update the gift goal. Let me go back here.
They did 4 years ago or even 1 year ago today. When you go to the gas station and you now see a 2, in some states a 1 instead of a 3 or a 4 in front of the gas tank, that is helping American families. We just passed one big beautiful bill, which is historic tax cuts for the American people. You see what we're doing when it comes.
Man, that cut out in 1 year?
Comes to deregulation. You see the rescissions package that we sent to the U.S. House and the Senate, which passed out, the president signed, automatically cutting $9 billion out of our federal government. Promises made, promises kept. If you look.
Guys, it's okay if all your groceries are going up. They gave a big tax cut to billionaires and they cut out some money. And they somehow still made our deficit go up. But don't worry about that. You can't afford groceries. Don't worry about your credit card debt. We passed a tax cut for billionaires. So there you go. Brutal Bree says, haven't seen you since I left TikTok after it was temporarily shut down. And they're still saying the same things. It's baffling, disheartening. Thanks for keeping this up. I appreciate it. Hey, Jen.
How's it going?
No.
What?
No.
We haven't really talked today. I was just checking in.
No.
How are you doing?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, well, that's not very nice. That's not very nice at all.
What do you want?
Well, just come and do my announcements, check in,
Go for
see
it.
how you're doing, all that kind of good stuff, all the fun things.
I will leave the VC.
No. Did you read the Venmos? I think you might have.
Did I miss those? Yeah, let's see. Izzy, thank you for joining the Dollar Train. Ryan said, for Friday's show, I have never given anyone any money, but you guys changed that. Thanks, Ryan. Devin or Devon? I always forget. This is Devo. Where do bad rainbows go? To Prism. It's a light sentence, but it gives them time to reflect. I loved that one. That was gold.
That is a good one. That's very good.
Go ahead.
All right, so it is Friendly Friday, like Jay mentioned earlier. So we try to get that goal in the top left-hand corner knocked out before we get to Friendly Friday. We usually do that the last hour on each Friday. So the V, the C, and the P, because we can't say those words on TikTok because they get mad at us. But the links you can see up on the screen if you're on YouTube, they're at the top. On Twitch, they're on the bottom, and then on the top again for TikTok. So if you guys could help knock out that remaining balance, that would be amazing. Subscribe to us if you haven't done so already. You can do that wherever you're watching. We do subscriber-only events that are just for paid subscribers. We've got one coming up this Monday. Jay's going to be debating Rob Noor, which, I don't know if this is part of your debate strategy or plan, but are you going to send him food before the debate? Maybe so he won't need to go make a sandwich.
Listen, I don't want to. For those of you who have followed this channel for a while, I'm going to, in code, tell you what my debate strategy is. But I don't want anybody to say it in the chat because I want it to be a surprise. But my debate strategy, there is something that when Felice was here, she was known for. When certain people would say certain things, she had something she would do where it was a non-verbal cue that she would do. Instead of colors, it will be words.
All right.
You with me?
Got it.
So nobody
Got
say
it.
it in the chat, but that's the plan.
Got it. I
Yeah.
get it. Now I know what it is. So
There we
there we
go.
go. Fantastic. So on YouTube, it's more than a regular just a regular subscription. You have to do and be a member if you want to join us for that. So let's see. So that if you guys disagree with RTV, you can come up and talk to him in real time. And how you do that is if you look at the Venmo username, that's my Discord username. You can add me on Discord and I can bring you on to talk to Jay in real time. You don't have to stay in the comments if you'd like to do that before we get to Friendly Friday. Check out our link tree in our bio. We are on most social media platforms. We've got merch, Cameo, Jay's on Cameo, and we upload all these episodes to Spotify. So there's all of that stuff. Yeah, so gift goal, we're supposed to start Friendly Friday in about an hour. So if you guys could get quick, fast, in a hurry, knock out that remaining balance, that would be fantastic. So yeah, how does The Rock go to the bathroom?
I know this. I think I know it. He Dwayne's his Johnson.
Yes.
Doc, yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Dwayne's his Johnson.
Yes.
Right.
That's my best.
What did the coffee report to the police?
I don't know.
A mugging.
Okay. That was not as good, but it's pretty good. Those are two good ones. After yesterday's performance, I like that. Just a reminder, as Travel Casey's saying there, the debate is on the Raging Tomatoes YouTube page. And if you are a member if you're a paid member, either on YouTube, TikTok, or Twitch, you can watch it with us either on YouTube or in the Discord. And then you don't have to hang out with incel white nationalists. So make sure you're a paid subscriber if you want to watch that with us. Otherwise, you can watch that on YouTube, Raging Tomatoes YouTube. But I highly recommend. And you can do that at any point between now and Monday. You can sign up for the paid subscription there. All right, let's keep going here. I do one thing just from that last video. I do want to say that for some reason, this administration keeps lying to you about gas prices. He said it there, in some states you see a 1 instead of a 3 or 4 for gas. That has not happened in this presidency at all. There's not a single place in this country where the price of gas starts with a 1. It doesn't exist. I don't know why they keep lying about that. It should make you MAGAs concerned that they lie, but what it really does to you is it makes you remember that it's all a lie and you're just supposed to attack the other side and not pay attention to the dipshits that lie to you every day. Have some self-respect. How can you sit there and watch Trump and his administration lie to you every day? They're like, gas is below $2. No, the fuck it's not. Nowhere. There's legitimately not one single place in this country where it's below $2, and he says it all the fucking time, which is wild. Same way he tells you that tariffs are paid by other countries. I don't know why you allow yourselves to be lied to like that. I'm not even saying you have to stop supporting him, but why can't any of you admit that? Why can't any of you be like, why is he lying about that? Not one of you can admit that. I would like to see a Trump supporter in the chat, just so we know. Just one of you say, like, I know that gas is not below $2 anywhere. Gas was $2.10. Where? Where was gas $2.10, John Gotti? Is that true? Lowest recorded gas price in America. Let's see. Oh, I got to do the year. Let's give me 2008. The lowest gas price recorded is $2.71. That's average price. The lowest average price is $2.71. Did anybody see where it was $2.10? Where was that guy? I'll point out that $2.10 is not below 2. Yeah, well, they don't know that, Eshel. They don't know that $2.10 is below. That is a crazy thing to say. He's lying to you that it's below $2. Well, it's $2.10. Elleria. Let's see. Let's see. This gets searched a lot. If you type in Elleria, it says the first thing is gas prices. Average price for gas there is currently $3.43 with the E85, which I think that's the ethanol, is at $2.86. Gas prices near me. I'm looking at current prices in Elleria. They're all over $3. I still don't see 210 anywhere. Let's see. Let me look at 210. Yeah, they're not. And there's no record of gas prices. There's literally a fact check on it. There you go. Just a constant reminder to Republicans: you should never believe anything that they tell you, especially when it comes to numbers. Trump lies about every number. I've never seen Trump state a number correctly ever. He either inflates it if it's good or deflates it if it's bad, but he never gets the number right. This is incredibly embarrassing. So Trump brought up, what's this guy's name again? Stephen Moore. Out of nowhere, Trump holds this impromptu press conference, and we'll get to some of the numbers. But he brings up Stephen Moore. Stephen Moore is a highly discredited economist who is buds with Art Laffer. He and Art Laffer bankrupted Kansas because they tried the Laffer curve, which is now, it's been debunked everywhere. It doesn't work. It only makes sense if you're a dipshit. And he obviously works for the Heritage Foundation. And he was the author of some of the economic chapters in, you guessed it, Project 2025. But again, Project 2025 is not real. Just all these people who wrote Project 2025 work for Trump. And Trump brought him in. And I promise you, nobody was more confused by what this man was saying than Trump. Trump has no clue what this guy says at any point. And it's going to become painfully obvious that all Trump knows is pictures. Somebody had showed like the Tulsi Gabbard to explain the new fake charges that they're rolling out against the Obama administration. She had to like give him a picture for him to understand it. He's an idiot. He doesn't understand any of this. You just show him a picture. He's like, oh, that's higher. Now here's what they had to say.
This one chart really says it better than anything. If you look at this,
this chart says it better than anything. And before you think this is out of context, you can watch the whole video. There's no additional context of Trump. Like, Trump doesn't tell anybody what this chart says. If you watch the entire clip, I promise you can go back and watch it. But here it is.
This is great. But this chart is...
By the way, I will tell you what these charts mean in a second.
Pretty amazing. Right here. All new numbers. Okay?
Oh, okay. Got it. Look at it, guys. It goes up. Look at this number that goes up. This is cool. It's no idea. Everybody in the room's like, what? What are we looking at here? Just goes up. He's such a fucking idiot. All right. Now, these charts are bullshit. And if they're not bullshit, Stephen Moore would be able to explain why they're not bullshit. But now what they're doing is they've trotted out Stephen Moore, and I'm going to show the whole video. I'm not going to clip this at all. 4 minutes and 33 seconds. What Stephen Moore says is, this is all good data, but none of you can see the data. Only I have the data. It's brand new data that nobody else has. So you're just going to have to trust these charts. And in the bottom left corner, it legitimately says that it's just his data. Like, they brought in a guy who doesn't back up any data and shows charts. Now, some of the numbers are correct, and I'll explain them to you. But this guy admits that, no, you're not going to be able to see any of this.
Because I had some very good news from some new data that we've been able to put together that no one has ever seen before. And I'll just very quickly go through these. So I was telling the president that the Constitution guarantees every free state in the United States a Republican form of government. We never were a democracy. Look, and you will find, brother. I don't know. I don't know why we have to do this every fucking day for Republicans, but I guess we're going to do it every day. A representative republic, a republic itself,
it's a form of democracy. Okay? Just like Pepsi is a type of soda, Coke is a type of soda. How do you get your representatives? You vote for them democratically. What we don't have is a direct democracy, but we are in a democracy. I don't know what dipshit told you guys that it was a good idea when somebody says democracy to be like, actually, we don't have democracy. We have a representative republic, or we have a constitutional republic. It's a democracy. It is a form of democracy. Stop trying to be smart when you're dumb. Okay? I'm trying to help you. This is not a win. This isn't a gotcha. This gotcha only works around your Republican friends. And you all repeat this together and then jack each other off like, yeah, we're actually smarter than everybody. These dumb bitches think it's a democracy when it's a representative republic. It's a type of democracy. Stop beating each other off for this. Just do it anyways. If you want to beat your friends off, just beat your friends off. But you don't have to say dumb shit before that. Just do it. You don't even need an excuse. Just do it. You can just say, I like you. I'm going to beat you off, and then do it. But you don't have to say dumb shit in order to do it, okay?
Did the right thing in calling for a new head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because this shows that over the last 2 years of the Biden administration, the BLS overestimated job creation by 1.5 million jobs. That's Mr. President, that's a gigantic error. And I don't...
Look at him. He looks at everybody. He has no clue.
Gigantic error. And
yeah, but here's the part that they left off. If you're wondering why they're talking about just the Biden administration, is because they've also done it with the Trump administration. And this is not an indicator of bad statistics. It's an indicator of a stalling economy, which started under the Biden administration. Yeah? And so we're clear for all of this. Just to set a precursor, whose tax policy were we under this entire time? The Trump tax policy, right? So these jobs numbers that we're talking about in relation, Trump, remember, Trump says, I'm going to fix this with my new tax policy. Biden fucked it up, and I'm going to fix it with my new tax policy. Bitch, that was your tax policy last time, too. And now your tax policy is about to go into effect, and it's not going to fix any of this. But these numbers are also wrong under the Trump administration. So they're going to do this thing, and this is why you can't trust the Heritage Foundation or any of these dipshits they trot out, because they are purposely leaving out really crucial information so that you understand the cause and effect. This was caused by, one, a shitty tax policy, two, multiple bailouts from COVID, and three, a massive transfer of wealth, where the middle class and the poor are sharing a smaller portion of the available wealth. And that's due to shitty tax policy. But they're leaving out the Trump part. They want to try and spin this as like, oh, look, they were lying for Biden. By the way, these numbers were also corrected during the Biden administration. Right? Like this, they're not announcing anything new. We already know those numbers. We knew them during the Biden administration. Trump campaigned on these negative revisions, saying, as Trump's campaigning, he's like, look at this. Okay, even Biden's own BLS, even like they have to tell the truth. They can't lie about the data. Look at Biden's numbers dropping. And then as soon as he's president and his numbers get deflated, he's like, oh, I actually think this is corrupt now. Now that they're reporting on me, it's corrupt. And so they've cut out the fact that this is still happening, and it's still happening to Trump. So what? The BLS was just, they were trying to take down Biden and Trump. They're somehow like, it almost seems like they're nonpartisan, right? If they're doing the exact same thing for both presidents, seems like maybe they're not partisan, and maybe this is just a problem with the way that, one, our economy is going, and two, the collection of our data.
I don't know if she's, I'm not making...
Thanks, Marianne.
An error. That's the bad part. If it was an error, it would be one thing. I don't think it's an error. I think they did it purposely.
Whether that, you may well be right, but even if...
Yeah, no, you're not right. You're a fucking idiot, because these numbers we had, this is from 2023 to 2024. We had these numbers in real time. So now Trump's, because he's an idiot, he's a fucking moron. He has no idea what he's looking at. He's like, oh yeah, they covered these up. Trump thinks that what's happening right now in this room is that this guy is showing him something that is new, that nobody knows. And Trump thinks that Moore is showing you evidence of a cover-up that they have just uncovered. Trump has no fucking idea that we already knew all of this. This isn't new information. But Trump doesn't get that because he's an idiot. He has an economics degree, too, allegedly. He doesn't know. So that's why he's trying to spin this conspiracy theory. And that's why when he looks to the room, everybody's like, yeah, we knew this. What are you talking about?
If it wasn't purposefully, it's incompetence.
Right.
Okay, so 1.5 million jobs overestimated. We have access to the...
He holds it like a prized fish. He's covering up the fucking chart. Stephen Moore wants to get on with it, and Trump's posing with his big fucking poster board. I can't with this guy. He's so stupid.
We have access to the some data that no one else does on what has happened.
Yeah, why would this fucking guy have access to data that nobody else has? He works for the Heritage Foundation. How did this guy get access to data that we don't have? Can we see it? No, you cannot. Just look at the picture. That works on Trump. Trump's like, oh, you do? You have data that I don't have? Oh, that makes sense. I'm just the president. Of course you have data that I don't have.
Month by month with median household income. This is based on unpublished Census Bureau data. It will be released sometime in the next 6 months, but we get an advanced look at it. And so I was telling the president in his first 5 months in office, starting in January through the end of June, the average median household income adjusted for inflation for the average family in America is already up $1,174. That's an
incredible number.
It's really not. Okay, so if you look at the real median wages, we actually do have this data. I don't know why he says that we don't. This goes through June, so I have through June. They provide this data. I don't know why he's pretending that we don't have it. Here's what it was. From January to February, real median wages went up $547. They didn't go up at all in February to March. They didn't go up at all in March to April. And April to May, they went up $230. May to June, $530 for a total of, that's where they're getting the total amount. Now, it is weird how they're drawing this chart. This top number is the total that it's gone up over the year, right? That's total. But the increase is that it went up basically, the average American's real median wages went up $760. However, during that time, inflation also went up. And I showed you guys the chart earlier. The value of the dollar went down. So this is something that they're going to do over and over again. And this is what happens for countries that wind up like their value crashes, like the value of their currency crashes. Oftentimes, like let's just say here in America, it costs $10 for a cheeseburger and drink, and then a year from now, it costs $20 for a cheeseburger and drink. Maybe you were making $15 an hour, and now you're making $20 an hour. But did it keep up with inflation? No. So who the fuck cares, right? So it is true that wages have gone up. It's also true that wages go up. Wages have been going up. This trend started. Notice they started in January. This trend started last year. We've seen positive wage growth for basically 15 straight months now. So they're cherry picking a tiny bit of data. By the way, none of Trump's policies have gone into effect yet. So these are still the policies, his old tax plan and the Joe Biden policies. Almost nothing Trump has done yet has gone into effect. The tariffs are just going into effect. But they cut this chart off in January on purpose. This is the spin of all spin. They're telling you Trump has done something when he hasn't done anything, and they're cutting it off, and they're not showing you that wages were growing all of last year when he wasn't president, while he was telling people that wages were going down.
Just came out,
just came out. So that's a giant gain.
And if I would have said this, nobody would have believed me.
Weird that he said that just came out, but this guy said earlier that nobody has seen these numbers, but I've seen the numbers and Trump has seen the numbers, and I just explained them to you. So how is it that my numbers match perfectly with his numbers, but he's telling you that you haven't seen the numbers? How did I get the numbers then? If nobody has access to them, how did I get the numbers? But maybe I'm the deep state. Who knows? Now Trump's going to be real proud of that chart again.
There's your number. We're doing well.
So the next one compares, we finally have the 2024 data on what happened with real family income in the United States. And so what I did was I compared the record in Donald Trump's first term with the Joe Biden first term. And you can see that, by the way, these dotted lines here, Mr. President.
Let me give you a close-up of what he's looking at right here. And I'm going to play the audio on this is what he's looking at. So this is monthly estimates of net change in real household income. And he's going to explain the dotted lines here. Let's go. Actually, where did that go?
That's COVID. So if it had not been for COVID, these numbers would have been substantial.
Okay, now I'm going to show you some real fuckery here. This is Trump's first term. Now, two things to remember. On all of this is under Trump's tax policy. Both the Biden line and the Trump line are under Trump policy. You see that dotted line? He said this is COVID. Why is there no dotted line for Biden? Somebody explain that to me. How come all this stuff down here up through, let's see, he came in 2021, COVID was ended in like late 2022. So 24 months. So basically to here, all of this was COVID. And they're not going to make this a dotted line. But this is a dotted line. Isn't that weird how they're cherry picking this data that way? Like half of this is COVID. And basically once COVID was over, you saw an increase. This is median income. Isn't that weird isn't that weird that he left off, like he knew Trump was going to see this and get mad. So he's like, oh, there's an excuse for this, but not this. All right.
Substantially better. But even taking account President Trump's last year in 2020, we saw a $6,400 real after inflation gain in income for the average family. And that compares with Joe Biden, which was a measly $551.
Another weird thing they did is they didn't compare median income for his predecessor. And if you saw the numbers as Trump came into office, you would have seen that his predecessor also had, in fact, real median income stagnated in 2019. And it had been like kind of stagnant-ish in 2016. Before Trump took office, but it was around the same. And yes, you did see an increase in real household income after the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. But if you let me see if I have this here. Go back. Pull this up here. Sorry, did I cut out my window? Fuck. God damn it! Did I lose my history? Sorry, let me find this real quick. All right. So, well, we'll go to the next one, actually.
So, Mr. President, you gain 10 times more income for the average family than Joe Biden is because of your policies.
Your policies were still in effect under Joe Biden. See the problem there? The same tax policy. Everything that they're giving, they're saying that this is all credit to the Tax Cut and Job Act. And the Tax Cut and Jobs Act was still in effect all through Joe Biden. And the accusation, and what economists were saying in 2019 is, hey, the TCJA is going to spike incomes, and it's going to spike spending. So you're going to see GDP growth, and you're going to see income growth, and then it will level off, and then it will drop. They were already predicting that before COVID, and they're able to predict that because we see it happen every time. It happened with the Bush tax cuts too. You see a spike, and they all go out and they celebrate. Look how great it is, and then it levels off and it falls, and they blame Democrats. But these tax cuts are always just like an injection into the economy, but they're not sustainable. They always fall off. So all of this blue line also occurred under that policy. But from this dip here with Trump and all about 24 months, that's COVID. If you take this part, like the downturn, and you connect it here, let's say you get rid of COVID, it was going to level out. The reason Biden's didn't shoot up in the same way as Trump is because you didn't get that initial injection. So it would have leveled out. This was expected. This is what every economist said the chart would look like. But again, Trump's a dummy and MAGA's dummies. So they're just not going to give you an accurate representation of what we're seeing here.
And that's taken into consideration COVID, which a lot of times you don't have to do that. But
we were
I'm very glad you did.
We were over
we were
almost 8,000 until.
Look at that number.
Yeah.
It just points to the highest part. Look at that number. It's so cool.
So then we looked at which families did the best. And we have data from the Census Bureau that shows by income percentage. So the 25th percentile is the lowest income, 75th percentile is the highest income. And what I find fascinating about this, Mr. President, is every income group did better. The red is President Trump, the blue is President Biden. Every single income group did better under President Trump. But what's really amazing is look what happened under Biden. The lowest income group lost income under Biden. They were poor 4 years after President.
Okay, now he is citing the Federal Reserve, and he's citing economists who this number is correct, just so we're sure about this. These numbers are correct. But the study he's citing, which let me pull up, what's the name of the study again? The Ups and Downs of Household Income. This is from the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. This is the what he's citing here. And what the findings say in this study are that real household income for the bottom quartile increased sharply in 2020. Let's see. Should I just close down my window? Where did that go? Did those notes get deleted? I'm going to have to go back. Hold on. The real household income for the bottom quartile, which is here, increased sharply in 2020 to 2021 due to pandemic-era support, so stimulus payments. As these supports faded and inflation accelerated in 2022, all the gains eroded. So all of this erosion comes due to inflation. Again, still under Trump's tax policy. Analysis shows that inflation reduced the purchasing power for lower income households, sometimes resulting even in a net decrease for the bottom quartile. This study is blaming COVID entirely for this. Now, he's blaming Joe Biden, but the study he's citing is blaming COVID. The specific measures report that median pay for the lowest quartile rose from $19,000 in March 2020 to $23,000 in March of 2024. That's what's giving Trump this massive gain. Most of this massive gain here is coming from COVID stimulus, an increase about 4,000 nominally. However, this growth was substantially eroded by inflation's impact on essentials like food and housing, with sharp increases in pay, but little improvement in real purchasing power. The San Francisco Fed's analysis suggests that after government transfers and economic recovery, real household income at the 20th percentile saw its gains mostly offset by inflation, resulting in little or no net increase in real income between 2021 and 2025. You see the problem here with the way that they're presenting this data? He's citing a study, and the study is saying that these gains were wiped out by inflation caused by COVID, global inflation. Which, again, if you're an idiot, you can blame Joe Biden. If you understand global inflation, if you understand the pandemic response, you understand that our inflation was caused by global supply chains crashing, right, and job loss. That's why we have this lower number, and that's the source he's citing. Bureau of Labor and Statistics and Federal Reserve research confirms it. So our own government, the BLS that he's citing, confirms that monthly and annual real wage growth for the bottom quartile was outpaced by inflation post-2022, leaving the net change close to zero or slightly negative for the period. That's why. These are all COVID numbers. And what you're seeing here in this chart is what we told you during COVID, that during COVID, there was this massive transfer of wealth. And the massive transfer of wealth went from the poor to the rich or to the upper class. It all went up. You see, the poorest got hurt the most, then the next poor, then we have the middle class. And if he was honest, he would have shown the upper quartile, but he's not going to do that. They left out the 1% here. They left out the top 10%. They just stuffed everybody else together here. And so now they're going to try and make this claim that, Joe Biden, actually, his policies are what lead to the rich getting richer. Again, this is all Trump's tax policy. The distribution of wealth is due to tax policy, right? Largely. This is Trump's tax policy. So they trotted this guy out to try and tell you that the reason they're doing this is they want you to trust Trump. They want you to say, like, I understand things are bad now, but look how good he is. He's going to do this again. Just hang on. Don't leave yet. Don't worry. That growth is coming. This exact thing is coming again because we cut taxes. Well, you cut taxes there too. This is so dishonest.
Biden's presidency, no gain virtually whatsoever for the middle class, and the rich was the only group that did better under Biden, which is ironic because Biden keeps saying he was trying to get rid of income inequality. He made income inequality worse, not better. It was President Trump that reduced income inequality.
These numbers just came out, by the way.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. This is from March. These numbers are from March. They didn't just come out. He has no fucking idea what he's ever seeing. He doesn't know what that guy just said. He has no idea. He just sees that red is Trump, blue is Biden, I'm better. They didn't just come out. They came out in March. This is all bullshit. The whole thing.
Finally.
Like, how are they going to cite a source if it just came out and that source is from March?
These are the numbers I just showed you in percentage terms. Mr. President, these are the numbers in dollar terms. So even the lowest income, 25th percent, gained about $4,000 in income. That's a lot for a lower income family. $6,400 for the middle class and almost $10,000 for the.
Yeah, but again, that just to tell you, yes, this is a lot. The $4,000, that would be a lot. But the findings from this say, as these supports faded and inflation accelerated, real gains eroded by 2023 to 2024. And analysis showed that inflation reduced the purchasing power for lower income households, sometimes resulting in a net decrease. So those gains were completely wiped out by inflation. Right? Again, no fault of Donald Trump, no fault of Joe Biden. Those gains were like the inflation that wiped it out was due to COVID. You can make good guesses of what would have happened. I think what we would have seen if we didn't have COVID is these numbers would have leveled off. That's what virtually every economist was saying, is that these gains were going to be a year or two worth of gains, and then they were going to level off. If you look at just like real median wages by year, let me see if I can find a graph for it. It's 11:30. Yeah, let's see. This is what real median wages look like. Right? This was 2019. You saw the peak there, which, by the way, do you guys really think this chart was going to continue like that? And here's what Trump is, for anybody that denies this. Like, Trump inherited incredibly fast median income. Like, it was rising at the same rate. Trump didn't accelerate this. Here's the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. This is the first year we saw like a sharp jump, and then it dropped. There's COVID. This is starting in 2020, going down. That's COVID. But see that we're already leveling off here. We saw a spike, an injection, leveling off. There's COVID. When you look at it this way instead of their chart, it's like, oh, it's so obvious that there's COVID, and then we recovered, and we were back to right where we were. This is so obvious for anybody who's looking at these numbers. Like when you don't let them like cherry pick the numbers and show you some bullshit graph, it's very clear what happened here. COVID came and slowed wages, and then it picked back up. Right? That's pretty clear. All right.
The richest. So you can see every income group did better. under Trump than Biden by a wide margin. That's the story.
I think when you look at them, they're all something, but this one chart really says it better than.
Okay, now this is the clip. He's going to go back and he's going to show this one chart because it's the one that's the most dynamic, like that goes up the most, and it's probably the one that is lying the most.
Anything, if you look at this is great, but this chart is pretty amazing right here. All new numbers.
All new numbers. They're not new numbers either. They're not. And again, this chart, just so you can see what he's holding up, this is the actual chart. This is the monthly estimates of net change in real median household income going up. Again, if we go back to that chart from the Fed. Okay, so he's showing this, that it's going up under Trump, that it was, you've never seen anything like this. But if I go back to that last chart I just showed you, I shouldn't have closed that window. If I go back to the chart there, you can see that it was already rising. Okay, so it's just a cherry picked chart. Trump just thinks it's really cool because it goes up really fast. He's like, this shows the whole picture. It literally doesn't. It literally shows almost none of the picture.
Okay.
So that's what they're trying to do to distract you. Republicans, you guys can check back in now. I was proud of you. You all did very well during that whole thing. I want to now get to some more serious stuff. I want to show you this. This is from a ICE raid in, I believe, I think it's in Long Island. Where is it? Rose Spa. I don't know what this is. I think it's in California. What ICE is doing now to get around their rules where they don't have warrants is people are calling in wellness checks. And ICE is going into facilities now under the guise of wellness checks, which is illegal. ICE can't do wellness checks in this way. I want you to see what ICE does as they break in here.
Look, there's some ICE agents and they're trying to arrest people when they're not supposed to.
That's a camera. That's a camera he just ripped down. Does ICE have the authority now to take down cameras as they break into people's homes under the guise of a wellness check? What the fuck? Do you guys remember the opening of Inglourious Bastards? You know those groups that were going around all through Germany and through Poland, and they were going into people's houses under the guise of we're just checking to see if they were hiding Jews? Remember that? Okay, we're at that stage now. We're at the stage of literal brown shirts going in under the guise of wellness checks, ripping off cameras, and breaking into people's homes.
ICE agents told somebody that they have to come out of a building. Right here in Burbank, California, I never believe that
Burbank.
In this country, we'd have ICE agents right here in our own city in Burbank.
There we go. It's Burbank.
They're trying to storm a person getting some illegal immigrant that didn't do anything wrong but live here and was an American.
Just breaking in now. And I want to make these comparisons because now conservatives, MAGA, that you guys are here, you're going to get really fucking triggered right now. And what you're going to hear a lot from MAGA now is that I'm going to show a lot of really disconcerting stuff that is very similar to what happened in Nazi Germany. And the MAGA in the chat, what they're going to do is they're going to start saying, this is why you lost. Because they don't know how to cope with this. They don't know how to respond to this. So what they're going to say now is they're going to talk about crying. They're going to accuse us of they're going to talk about liberal tears, and they're going to say shit like, this is why you lost. So MAGA, do you have your responses ready? You can even pre-type it. I would copy and paste. You're just going to want to say this. Every time you see something uncomfortable, say, this is why we lost, and say, cry about it. Or say like, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, something like that. But just remember that you would have done all of this shit in Germany too. So the parallels are exactly the same. You now have a legitimate federal force that's breaking into homes under the guise of wellness checks to kidnap people, tear down their security footage, break down their doors. No big deal, though. No big deal. Keep telling us, just say stuff like cope, and this is why you lost. Here's what the DOJ is saying. The DOJ went to court. Now, there was a stay issued by the courts talking about immigration raids specifically. And now the DOJ is saying, hey, this isn't fair. You have to let us do whatever we want. They said, this case involves a district court injunction that threatens to upend immigration officials' ability to enforce immigration laws in California. One thing that I think is pretty cool is that California fighting back, ironically, is also a real fucking problem for the Trump administration's attempt now to remove illegal immigrants off of the census. Because I showed you guys yesterday, about 7% of the people that they have detained are from California, but like something like 23% are from Florida, something like 17% from Texas. In red states where people are willing and happy to rat out their neighbors, you're gonna lose census representation. So that's cool. But one of the parts in here that I thought was crazy is that there is a Supreme Court ruling. I think it's called I don't remember who did the law. I don't remember who the lawsuit was, but it was versus Arizona. And in this Supreme Court ruling under Joe Arpaio, he was using things like people speaking Spanish or looking Hispanic to pull them over and detain them. And the Supreme Court ruled that that's not probable cause, that you can't just that is racial profiling, which is illegal. And so the Supreme Court ruled against Joe Arpaio, and eventually he was convicted of a felony and should have went to jail, but of course Trump pardoned him. In this argument, they are saying that they should not be limited to. They should be allowed to racially profile. They say illegal presence is widespread in the Central District, where 1 in every 10 person is an illegal alien. That many locations unlawfully employ aliens that are known to hire them on a day-to-day basis. That certain types of jobs like day labor, landscaping, and construction are most attracted to illegal aliens because they do not require paperwork. That the vast majority of illegal aliens in the district come from Mexico or Central America, and that may only speak Spanish. Needless to say, no one thinks that speaking Spanish or working in construction always creates reasonable suspicion, nor does anyone suggest those are the only factors federal agents ever consider. But in many situations, such factors alone, or in combination, can heighten the likelihood that someone is unlawfully present in the United States, above and beyond the 1 in 10 baseline odds in the district. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents are entitled to rely on these factors when ramping up enforcement of immigration laws in the district. They are arguing in federal court that they should be allowed to racially profile people. Now, I know that MAGA doesn't care because you're racist, but they're literally saying, why can't we be racist in the way that we police? And you guys are like, yeah, why can't you be racist in the way that you police? I don't know, be better at your job. That's what they're arguing now. So now the federal government is saying this isn't really fair to us because we're trying to lock all these people up, and we're not very good at our jobs. There's 56,000 people in detention. We suck at this, mostly because we hire dipshits, because only dipshits would want to do this job. And so can we just racially profile so that our dipshit ICE agents with like a GED can do their job? They're not smart enough to figure it out another way. We also have people quitting ICE and the DOJ en masse. This is a story from a woman who took a job at Alligator Alcatraz and barely lasted. And she's going to explain the conditions and why she quit this job. By the way, this is a 6-figure job. You know how bad your job has to fucking suck for you to quit a 6-figure job? Here's what she has to say. Let's see. The Noodle Poodle Girl said, the owner of a Trump burger was detained and will be deported by ICE. I saw that. Yellow's not Trump's color. He's blending into the tacky gold on the wall. He looks like the framed picture. Gary said, false news. Biden worked to undo Trump's policy. Yeah, did he? Did he undo Trump's tax policy? Wrong. Need to make a Republican response bingo for the chat. Thank you, Mariana, for the super chat. Gary said the Constitution guarantees every free state in the United States a Republican form of government. We never. Oh, I already did that. I already explained democracy to you guys. Jackie says, love you, Jen. Heather says, I enjoy your content. Patricia says, spreading facts. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry. I've been locked in. I didn't read these earlier. Eileen says, oh, there's no message there. If you meant to send a message, you can get that to Jen. One didn't come through there. Let's see. Pink said, I learned a hard financial lesson today, so you only get $1. Thanks, Jay and Jen. Yeah. Julia said, for RTP, thank you. Rebel Heart says, what did the dad say to his daughter that was going to prom? Bring a bottle of water because there might not be a punchline. It's pretty good. All right. Just a reminder, we're way away on that gift goal. We are going to do Friendly Friday. Jen is telling me that we can't do Friendly Friday till we knock out the gift goal, so it's my bad. Let me update that. She's threatening me in no uncertain terms, which is terrifying. If you've ever been threatened by Jen, it's about the worst thing that can happen to you. While we cover this, I know it's going to be hard to watch, but if you can't help with the gift goal, that'd be great. Let's jump into this. Here's this woman talking about why she quit Alligator Alcatraz.
But now at least one former worker is speaking out about the conditions there. This woman, going by just her first name, Lindsay, told our NBC6 South Florida affiliate that she was hired as a corrections officer at Alligator Alcatraz and saw inhumane treatment of the detainees.
We had to use the porta-johns. We didn't have hot water half the time. Our bathrooms were backed up. It looked like an oversized dog kennel. Each pod holds 35 to 38 inmates. They have bunk beds in them. They have no sunlight. There's no clock in there. They don't even know what time of the day it is. They shower every other day or every 4 days. The bathrooms are backed up because you got so many people using them. These people are still human. You've pulled them from their livelihood. They're scared. They don't speak our language. And yeah, I was fired. And yeah, I'm pissed off. But more so than ever, like, they're doing wrong.
Yeah. It's inhumane. Now, I know you guys don't care. I know you think that it's okay to be inhumane. Some people don't. By the way, USCIS.gov. If you go to USCIS.gov, you'll find this. Democracy in the United States. The United States is a representative democracy. That word right there. Voting is one way to participate in our democracy. Stop trying to be smart with dumb shit. Stop it. I know you might not be better than this, but stop it. Stop being actually, we're not a democracy, because we are. It's stupid. Stop doing that. Here's Tom Homan on with Hannity last night. Tom Homan, old mushmouth dipshit Tom Homan, who looks terrible. I think his family left him, and he's looking rough. Here's what Tom Homan has to say now about people tipping off other people that ICE raids are on their way. He's very upset that people don't want him to just come busting into their cities.
Okay, so you need all these beds. Are you also hiring more agents? And what do you do when you have politicians that are tipping off the criminals that raids are coming, which endangers law enforcement in the process?
Well, the recruiting is sky high. I mean, I told a story a few weeks ago. I had a LinkedIn account I had to shut down because I got thousands of emails every day.
They cut it in the music. We're at the stage, by the way, of tattling. This is what happened in Germany. They started threatening people who were helping Jewish folks avoid being tracked down. What's the difference here? Out of curiosity, what's the difference?
Military, police officers, retired agents wanting to come back. And as far as what's happening with these politicians, DOJ needs to step up and prosecute these people. I think it's impediment. I think it's interference. And we already have a record number of prosecutions for 18 U.S.C. 111, which is impediment, interference, and assault. We got to keep prosecuting these people and send a strong message. Enough's enough. Zero tolerance.
Yeah, we're trying to fill up these concentration camps, guys. We can't have people ratting us out. We can't have people being humane. What's the difference? By the way, the people in Germany at the time, they were like, look, these Jewish folks, they don't have to hide. You shouldn't help them. That's the law. They just got to follow the law. They got to get out. They have to self-deport. They have to go jump on those trains. Okay? It is what it is. It's a legal process. So for those of you who are saying it's impeding a legal process, are you any different than the Nazis? Tell me why you're different. It was illegal. It was a legal process then too. It was an order by the government. What's the difference, please? How are you guys not the Nazis? Red hats or the brown shirts? Exactly. This is when they say like history repeats itself. The reason history repeats itself is because people, usually the bad guys, don't realize they're the bad guys. And the bad guys are always dumb guys too. Extra confident people who lack critical thinking. And they all pretend that they have critical thinking, and then they all work in unison. They all sound in unison, and they all rally around one leader. Made up a whole new salute just for old Brown, the leader of the brown shirts. A whole new salute, whole new sign. It's interesting, right? The Germans had a flag, but during the Holocaust, that wasn't the flag that you saw flown most prominently, huh? Isn't that weird? The Republicans have a logo. America has a flag, and yet you see MAGA flags everywhere. Weird. So you guys have a costume. You have a color. You choose to fly a different flag. In fact, you say MAGA all the time. You say America first. No, you say American. It's Patriot, MAGA, America first. What's the fucking difference? And now Dean Kane's going in there. Now you're using celebrities to endorse him. You don't think that happened in Germany? You don't think that they were bringing in prominent artists, prominent leaders, prominent business folks to support this? You don't think they were putting out propaganda? We have the Department of Homeland Security putting out actual propaganda films, like borderline snuff films. Same as in Germany. What's the difference? Whatever you want to say about the law and order, whatever you want to say about the rule of law, you are choosing the rule of law over treating human beings humanely. I don't give a fuck what the law is. I don't. If the law treats people inhumanely, I'm against it. What other laws have we had in this country? Boy, you guys would have been, oh my God. Let me tell you about some people in history you would have loved. Slave catchers. You would have loved the slave catchers. If they had social media back then and you guys were alive back then, you'd be up there like posting pictures of slave catchers tracking down slaves. Be like, check this out. These are real Americans, law and order, baby. And you'd have all those folks that were getting paid to track down slaves. If you were in Germany, you'd be like, look at these guys going, check that out. Fuck Anne Frank, man. She had it coming. Why's she hiding it? Why's she hiding in that attic anyways? You'd see him breaking through like the secret passageway behind the bookshelf. Hell yeah, this is Germany, baby. Fuck around and find out. As they drag Anne Frank out of her house. You're no different. You're exactly the fucking same. And you're doing exactly what they did. Hiding behind the law. Well, shouldn't have come here. Well, should have identified. Well, should have put the star on. Should have went and got on that train. Should have just went to the concentration camps. None of these people would have had their houses broken into if they would have just followed the law where they were supposed to deport themselves. You're literally no different at all. And by the way, the reason those concentration camps were in Poland is so it would be away from visibility. The reason we sent people to El Salvador is so that there was no visibility. And the few instances we know of reports of the treatment in El Salvador, people have died. People are abused. People are starved. What's the difference? What's the difference between taking Jewish folks and sending them to a concentration camp in Poland and taking immigrants and putting them in a concentration camp in El Salvador? It's for the exact same reason. Transparency or lack thereof. You all are literally no different. There is no daylight currently between you and Nazi Germany. None. You're exactly the same. And we're not sugarcoating anymore. And cue the shit in the chat. Like, this is why you lost. Yeah, this is why we lost. We lost because being a Nazi is cool now. For some reason, it's a cool thing in this country now to treat people inhumanely. And you know what those Nazis all also had in common with you? Good Lord, did they love to talk about Jesus. Oh my God, they loved talking about Jesus. They wouldn't shut the fuck up about Jesus. They put him everywhere. We are good Christian Nazis. You're treating people inhumanely. Now, you can look at that. You can see a Nazi with the cross, and you can be like, nah, those aren't real Christians. But then you do the exact same thing. You justify the exact same behavior. There's legitimately, again, no difference between you and them. And it's like we don't even have to pretend anymore. And I'm not going to pretend anymore. We're just going to keep throwing this in your face. Let me show you this. Let's show you some more parallels between this administration and Nazi Germany. This is a executive order that was put out. We covered it last week from the White House, restoring civil commitment. This is regarding unhoused people. Encouraging civil commitment of individuals with mental and people with mental illness. With mental illness who pose risk to themselves or the public or are living on the streets and cannot care for themselves in appropriate facilities for appropriate periods of time. Enforce, where necessary, adopt standards that address individuals who are a danger to themselves and others and suffer from serious mental illness or substance use disorder, or who are living on the streets and cannot care for themselves through assisted outpatient treatment or by moving them into treatment centers or other appropriate facilities via civil commitment or other available means to the maximum extent permitted by law. Now, you might say to yourself, that's not similar. In 1933, there was a passage of a new law called the Law Against Habitual and Dangerous Criminals. Oh, really? People who pose a risk? Nazis authorized and arrested and imprisoned beggars, homeless individuals, and unemployed, and they put them in the concentration camps. Homeless people were detained during mass police raids targeting asocials. In camps, they were forced to perform labor, sometimes pointless forced labor under brutal conditions. They used a triangle system of colored badges. Homeless and other asocial prisoners wore a black triangle to mark their unfitness for community life. They weren't fit to live in the community. These policies were part of a broader campaign to remove so-called undesirable people from German society, including the mentally ill, sex workers, and others. By the end of the 30s, political prisoners became a minority in concentration camps as mass arrests of homeless, unemployed, and other marginalized people increased sharply. The system continued until the end of the Third Reich, inflicting imprisonment, forced labor, and high mortality on tens of thousands of homeless people. I'm listening to Charlie Kirk this morning talk about stripping away the rights of Democrats. I'm watching prominent Republicans in the Texas legislature talking about how the Democrats are the enemy of the people. I saw Donald Trump talk about how the Democrats are the enemy of the people. There is no limit to what this administration will do and who they will imprison. There we go. Do you see what I have? You are undesirable. We have actual Nazis in the chat. Actual fucking Nazis in the chat. And let me tell you something about you Nazis. You are bitches. Every one of you is a bitch, and you will lose. Exactly like the Nazis lose, you'll lose. You know what never happens? These regimes don't last. And the reason they don't last is because they're full of dipshits. It takes a real lack of intelligence to be this bigoted and to be this inhumane. It shows a low level of an ability to process information. You're going to harm people. People will die. I think journalists will be jailed. I think there's going to be a lot of shit that happens in the near future. And we have actual Nazis in the YouTube chat currently saying, yeah, that you should be there. Yeah, it does. Bitch, I just read you. The undesirable was their word. I was reading you Nazi propaganda, and then you said that's what I was. What other way do you want me to take that? That these undesirable people were thrown into concentration camps, and then you say you're undesirable? Can you define Nazi for me so we're on the same page? No, if you're too fucking stupid, look at these attempted like Andrew Wilson stands. Define it so we're on the same page. They were the Nazis, the people in the brown shirts, and everybody who supported the mass deportation of sex workers, of LGBTQ people, of Jewish people, of politicians, of journalists, everybody that was thrown in a concentration camp. If you need help defining Nazis, you probably need help tying your fucking shoes. Again, the problem with all of you is that you have low IQs and that you're legitimately dumb people. You can't process information. You can't figure out how the world works, so you turn to hate. And you're all the people that you follow, all the people that you get your information from, they're also dumb. But they talk a little bit smarter than you, and you don't understand what they're saying either. You just pick up the part about how I'm not the problem, it's somebody else. Venus said, don't they know how many sister wives desire Jay? Jolanda said RFK should research the lack of empathy. Danielle said Nazis rounded up LGBTQ plus and disabled community first. Jolanda said they didn't just search for them in Germany. My grandmother's house in the Netherlands was also raided, so how far will you let them go? Jesse said towards a gift goal. Bam Marola said great shows this week per usual. Thank you, MT Clark. RC, Noodle Poodle Girl. I think I read that one. How many here? Laura said for the gift goal. Marcus says Dollar Train. And Swish says for the grifty griff meow. I appreciate the meow there. Let me check Jen's. Brad says, I just burned 1,200 calories. I forgot the pizza in the oven. Did I miss any other ones? I think I got those. Let's see. Let me check the total. Hey, welcome new subscribers. Update this. I do feel weird updating a gift goal while we're talking about Nazis. If we're just for transparency's sake, it does feel weird. Somebody did mention LGBTQ people. This is a story that came out today. Remember that before all of this happened, the Nazis, and I'm just going to keep saying Nazi. Maybe we'll get banned. I don't know. We'll see what happens. They went after LGBTQ people, specifically trans people.
Today, I'm not okay. Two days ago, the Supreme Court ruled on the injunction, placed a stay on the injunction that protected trans service members from discharge. Today, Secretary Hegseth released his policy for the DoD. And it outlines and paves the way for discharges to begin within 60 days. Which for me means that a career that I have been working for going on 18 years is going to be stripped away from me within the next 6 months. To have something that you have worked so hard for such a massive portion of your life, dedicating energy and mental stability and missing holidays and birthdays and major life events, to have it taken away for something that is arguably a political act. I've worn my uniform every day since 2013. Every day. Prior to that, I enlisted in 2007. 2 deployments in that time frame. I worked full-time as a technician during that time period. I've done a lot of time. And I did all of it because I knew that at the end of my career, there were going to be benefits that...
You guys can't hear it? I can turn it up. It may be coming out. Check your headphones. If you have headphones on, check them. I'll turn it up a little.
Would set me up for success so that I wouldn't have to struggle. I gave up freedoms and choices and things that my friends and those around me, my family, enjoyed. I gave that up because I knew that at the end of my career that something better was coming and it's being taken away. And if you told me it was because I couldn't serve, I'm physically capable of doing this job. I've done it. More than half of my career has been as an out trans person. I have transitioned for the last 9 years of an almost 18-year career. I've been deployable the whole time. I've done my job successfully. I've gotten awards and ribbons and accolades and been successful. If you were to tell me that it was because I'm physically incapable of doing this job, I would accept it. But you're telling someone who is physically capable of doing the job that they are incompatible with military service because of the person that they are. I'm not a perfect person, and I'm not a perfect soldier. But what I do is I strive to put the needs of others before me, before my own needs. And I've done that for a very long time. I have helped grow the force as a recruiter. I've trained thousands of soldiers. I have spoke highly of the military to people who are unsure. I have defended the actions of the DOD. To have the DOD spit in my face. Some of you are going to be happy that we're being discharged. And to you, I'm saying I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you haven't gotten to know soldiers like me and like my friends who want nothing more than to wear the uniform in a time when we are struggling to find people to volunteer to do this. We are begging to be allowed to continue our service, and you're just going to wash us away. So today I'm not okay. And I don't know when I'm going to be okay. Because I'm terrified of what comes tomorrow. Because for 18 years I've put a uniform on and done my job and known what was going to happen almost every day of my career, because that's what this job is. And now I don't even know what the job market looks like in a time when people are already struggling to find work. And all I want to do is just finish my time. Do my job. But it's going to be taken away. I'm not okay. But tomorrow I'm going to put my boots on and I'm going to go to work. Because that's what's the right thing to do. And maybe next week I'll take some time to figure out what I'm going to do in a month. Because I don't know.
For anybody who doesn't know, the Department of Defense finalized a policy that says people who were eligible for early retirement, who are trans, are no longer eligible for early retirement. This man has had 12 plus years of service and has never had an evaluation where he wasn't in the top percentile. Being told now by this administration that their identity is incompatible with the military, and therefore those 18 years of service no longer warrant a paid retirement. In 1933, I think it is, the Nazis started targeting transgender individuals along with other members of the LGBTQ community. And those policies included revoking their legal documents or their right to legal documents. They banned cross-dressing. They started prosecuting trans people under laws banning trans people and gay people. They started prosecuting them under public indecency laws. They shut down their safe spaces, their clubs, their organizations. They shut down all medical research. Does it sound familiar to you? All this anti-woke shit. Heaven forbid we try and understand people who are different than us. Heaven forbid we do research to try and get along, figure out ways that we can coexist and people aren't stripped of their rights. Heaven forbid we do that. Let's just demonize them instead. There was something called the Magnus Hirschfeld Institute for Sexual Science. It was one of the earliest like transgender institutes. This was in the 30s. They shut it down. They got rid of federal funding to understand people. Instead, they took these people and they jailed them simply for being who they were. You can look through the rolls of the concentration camps. You'll find thousands of LGBTQ people. Some of them were killed. Trans women specifically, just like in America, faced a ton of violence, sexual violence, humiliation, and deadly mistreatment. They were often sexually assaulted, regularly sexually assaulted while they lived in concentration camps simply for just being who they were. You can go look at Buchenwald and I think it's Mauthausen, I think is how you say that. Go read the records from there. I read them this morning. I'm not reading them here. They forced detransition. They stripped them of public identity, which is exactly what we're doing now. It is sick to me to watch people that I at one point I at least considered like decent people. Like go on like actual missions, and I'll say it by name. Like I've been like as far as like I I'm not a conservative, but as far as people that I've engaged with politically on TikTok, one of the people I probably respected the most was on the right was Logic and Liberty, and now she's just on this like all out campaign against trans people as if they are hurting her in some way, like traveling the country to demonize trans people. I don't think you guys realize what you're doing. I don't think you realize the sick fucks that you empower when you do this stuff. I'm sorry if you don't understand it. I'm sorry if it makes you feel icky. But then you align yourselves with like white nationalists and actual Nazis. And then the violence is not only increased, but then it seems like this administration, specifically this Department of Defense, it seems like they're cheerleading it. Like the more cruel you can be, the more accepted you are in the Republican Party. What the fuck happened to you people? What the fuck happened to you? What, a trans person played sports once, and so you're like, oh, I have to go on an all-out crusade on trans people. I think that like the heavy part of our current situation is that we've been saying, God damn, this looks like Nazi shit. This whole campaign, Trump's 2-year campaign, we're like, God, this looks bad. You had Project 2025. You're like, God, did you steal this? Did you just translate this from German? Where did you get this plan? How many more parallels do we have to show you before you either one, just admit that you're a Nazi, or two, like remove yourself from that? How do you be a Republican Like, do you just remove the mirrors from your house? Or do you look yourself in the mirror every day with this level of hatred for people, for immigrants, for trans people, for Democrats, for LGBTQ people, for communists, for socialists? Like, how do you do this? How do you live through this? Do you just pretend it's not happening? Like legit. How do you go through life and pretend that this isn't happening? It blows my mind to see every day. I mean, it blows my mind to see this chat. It's like, yeah, this is good. What the fuck is wrong with you? Honestly, what the fuck is wrong with you? There's nobody that deserves that type of treatment. I'm sorry. Like, if we have a problem with immigration, we have a problem with the fact that that there's too many illegal immigrants in our country. How about some inward look? How about an inward look? You guys were all here. You weren't all born a year ago. What did you do? What did you do to fix our immigration process? What did you do for years as we had illegal immigration here? You guys didn't do anything. This is what's so crazy about it. Like, you think that the only solution is violence and cruelty. No, it's not the only solution. It's just the solution that you guys like. I don't know what to do with that. We're headed for like some dark fucking times. You just reading this chat's absolutely disgusting. I don't know what to do about that. And ironically, it's like, it's Trump. Like, the fuck's his problem? Oh, it's a bad thing for me. Bro, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You got handed a fortune. You haven't suffered a day in your life. When America came calling and asking for your service, you said, fuck off, my feet hurt. And then you just leeched off the American taxpayer for 80 fucking years. You destroyed small businesses. You fucked over everybody you ever worked with. And then you get to 80 and you're like, you know what the real problem was? The real problem in this country isn't people like me who have just leeched off the system forever and hoarded all this wealth. The real problem is trans people. The real problem is immigrants. Ironically, the people who talk the most about like masculinity and how like we're becoming beta or whatever the fuck you guys think. The irony of you saying that is you are the most fragile, thin-skinned bitches I've ever come around. I shouldn't have said it that way. You're all hysterical. All I have to do every time one of you guys comes up here and talks with me, which is rare because you're all pussies, is just call you a pussy or call you a bitch, and you lose it. You absolutely fucking lose it. All I have to do is show you a trans person on TV and the rage boils. You are the softest, bitchiest, pussified generation I've ever seen. There's no bigger group of bitches than the people calling themselves alphas. I go to the gym. Yeah, you do go to the gym. You go to the gym and you get, I'm ripped. Yeah, and then what do? Look at other dudes and compare yourself to those other dudes. I'm not quite strong enough. I need to go to 9 more Andy Elliott sales trainings so that I can scream at women and act tough. Oh, look, I can take my shirt off. You guys are, you are so fragile. And that's who's leading this country. Pete Hegseth, what a bitch. What a bitch. The guy can't, you ask that guy a tough question and he falls apart. He just starts screaming at you. All of you are that way. This is what's going to happen on Monday. On Monday, I'm going to debate Rob Noah, and I'm going to ask him questions, and he's going to absolutely fucking lose it. He's going to fall apart, just like all of you do. Because you can sit around and you can pay your money to Andrew Tate, and you could hang out in your Discord servers and demonize women. But at the end of the day, you're just like every other fascist that ever existed. You're a bitch. Every last fucking one of you. And you're going to do violent things because you're bitches. And I want to speak to the people who are adjacent. Like, I want to talk to the bitch adjacent people today. I want to ask you today that's like, you know what? I don't really want to do concentration camps. I don't really want to lock people up for their identity. I don't really want to live in an authoritarian control. Well, can you set that aside then? Can you set aside the fact that you don't want universal health care? Can you set aside the fact that you don't like Kamala Harris, whatever it might be? Can you set that aside for a second and stand up against fascism? Because we need you. We need Republicans. We need any Republican with any semblance of a spine. We need you. You've got to stand up today. Do you want to side with the Nazis? This is the very fine people debate all over again. This isn't you voting with them and being looped in. This is you marching with them right now. You're marching with the Jews will not replace us people. That's you. Are you that person? Like, are you a Nazi? Are you going to stand with the Nazis because that's who you voted for? Or is there like a little bit of a spine in you that's like, you know what? I wanted tax cuts. I wanted more sensible immigration. I wanted whatever it was that Trump that made you excited to vote for Trump, whatever that was. If you weren't one of the people who was driven by hatred of immigrants and LGBTQ people, can you put aside for a second all this other shit and stand up for what's right before it's too late? We have the federal government promising that they are going to put their police in our streets. ICE was formed to go after terrorists after 9/11. That's why we have ICE. Now they're breaking into houses of people who are just like their biggest crime is working here illegally. So we had to expand ICE to go after workers. Can you please just set that aside for a minute? They're not costing you any money. In fact, these deportations are costing a fortune. It is so incredibly expensive to deport people right now. And most of them, no criminal history whatsoever. It's worth it for you to watch our economy crash just so that we can treat people inhumanely. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about Republicans in general. I had more faith in humanity than this. Whatever you want to say about like Joe Biden, whatever you want to say about Barack Obama, like nobody ever did this. Nobody ever went after you this way. You guys all act like you're attacked. You know what happened to you? And this is another example of you being bitches. You guys think that the whole system is rigged against you because Donald Trump's a criminal and they prosecuted him. And you guys have co-opted his complaint. Oh, we're all so picked on. What kind of bitch shit is that? A guy has court cases and you co-opt that like you're a victim too? Tried to overthrow the government, that didn't work out. Go ahead, pardon. Now we're pardoning sex criminals. Now we're not even a party that could say like Ghislaine Maxwell's bad. I don't fucking know what to do with you people. Read some comments here. Candy said, because Jen said so. Thanks, hey, howdy. Charles said, for emotional labor, great show, Jay, as always. Thank you. Shits and Giggles said, liberal tears are tears for humanity. I don't even, yeah. Bro, if you aren't moved to the point that you want to cry when you watch stories like that, when you watch that guy who dedicated his life and his entire career to the U.S. military with the promise from our country that as he served, that he would be taken care of, that he would have a retirement, only to have that taken away from him simply because who he is. If you can watch that and not be moved by that, you're fucking dead inside. Like I'm far more concerned with the people who who aren't close to tears. I'm far more concerned for you folks. But that's what cowardice is. Cowardice is on top of demonizing others. It's like a inability to connect with like even your own humanity. Like you guys are so fearful that you won't even let yourselves feel things. You've made yourselves dead inside, and you call it courage. It's fear. Change is hard. Accepting people you don't like is hard. Accepting new narratives is hard. Accepting data that goes against what you think is hard. What you guys do is easy. It's just typical bitch shit. I don't like change and I don't want to learn new things, so I'm just going to be angry at everything that changes. Like this is like you are who your parents were. Like when your parents when we first started, like when MTV came on and your parents were like, this is going to ruin America. That's who you are now. And your parents became the people that they were when your dad was like, why are there black people on TV so much now? We legitimately have like prominent conservatives in this country. Laura Loomer, Charlie Kirk, like, why are there so many black people in commercials? Are you fucking kidding? You think 18-year-old you would be proud of this shit? 18-year-old you, why are they putting people different than me on TV? Well, I don't know. There's aliens on TV. There's robots on TV. There's cartoons on TV. Like, you watch shit all the time that isn't you, and you're comfortable with that. But for some reason, you have to hate somebody who looks different than you, who feels different than you, who has sex different than you. I mean, everybody has sex different than you guys. That doesn't just fuck their hands, but it's fucking insane. You guys are so goddamn soft. At the end of my debate on Monday, what's going to happen? They're going to open a panel up, and it's going to be 15 angry white dudes. And they're all going to be so mad at me that I have the audacity to say we should treat people humanely. And then they're going to try and do gotcha shit, whataboutism shit. Oh, so you don't like the rule of law? Yeah, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't like the law. Every argument you guys make for why we should deport immigrants right now is the same. You would have been on the side of every atrocity ever. You would have been advocating for slavery. You would have been advocating against civil rights. Some of you are still advocating against civil rights. You advocate against women's suffrage. You would advocate for mass deportations in Germany. You guys would. History is full of bitches who stand idly by. And at the end of this, you'll all run from it, either physically or emotionally or verbally. When all this ends, every one of you that wasn't involved in it directly, you're all going to lie about this shit because you're hiding behind pseudonyms on the internet with avatars that make you look tougher than you are. And you'll all pretend that you didn't say this. Yeah, and you'll all pretend that you weren't bitches. You'll probably be like, oh, yeah, I hated when that happened, but what could I do? Or I was actually against that, just like everybody was with the Iraq war. 90% of America wanted us to go to Iraq and bomb the shit out of Muslims. And then we did. And then we found out later that it was bullshit. Now we all pretend that we weren't. I was there. I was there raising my hand like, yeah, let's fuck them up. Let's put a boot in their ass. It's the American way. It's literally like the #1 song in America was like, we're going to go fuck up Iraq for something Osama bin Laden did. Some of us are able to admit that and learn from it. Some of us are able to like be on the wrong side of history and learn the lesson. And some of us just revise history later on. We just always side with the worst possible way. And then when history shows that we were wrong, we're just like, oh, I didn't side with that. I hope some of you guys can pick it the fuck up. Let me check messages real quick, then we'll go to Friendly Friday. Sorry for the mood to end on Friendly Friday there, but Lorraine says my mom was an Auschwitz survivor. She lived here in terrible. She lived there in terrible, or that she lived here in terrible, or that it could happen again in fear. Maybe I dismissed her fears; it would never happen again, and here we are. She was right. I hate it here. Yeah, I think that's what you're trying to say. RC said you're on point, Jay. Crazy the world today. Yeah, it's devastating. It's so fucking devastating. Like, I wasn't shocked, but to watch our Department of Defense just tell all these people who served our country, like, sorry, you guys are fucked. You guys don't get retirement. Why? Well, because of how you identify. Literally, how you identify is why you don't get retirement. Show me a time that the liberals did that. Who were these members of the military that they threw out without retirement? Oh, I don't know. Maybe vaccine stuff. Could have been that. I guess. I think those people have all been made whole. I hope the people that are persecuted against get made whole eventually. But goddamn, that would suck to be those people today. And it sucks that we're that country. It sucks that like other people from other countries, constantly have to tell us, like, we can't believe how fucking evil you guys are. It really sucks. This guy's a limperist. See, there we go. See, and it's just gay slurs out of all you. If you're using gay slurs, like, you're just a bitch. Like, you really are just a bitch. Hey, Jen.
Hey.
Julia said RTP. Did I miss any of these other ones? I think I got them. All right.
You checked your other links.
What's that?
You checked the other Cash App PayPal.
I just checked them, yeah.
Okay. If you guys want to start heading over to the general VC in the Discord, we can get that going.
There we go. All right, let's hop over there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Friendly Friday now. Look, I understand I ended on an emotional note, and I don't want to tell anybody what to say or not to say. Like, we can talk about whatever. If you want to talk about this on Friendly Friday, let's do it. Just remember, there's often a lot of people that try and come in on Friendly Friday. I don't have a ton of time left. I can probably go for like 45 minutes, but try and keep it to 2 minutes if you can. Check it again, Oslo. I'll keep checking it while we're going, Oslo. Let me here. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oslo said, Oslo the Curious Red Monster is the sexiest creature on TikTok. I think about that little red monster every time I'm washing my legs. Those are my words, not Oslo's, by the way. I just said that about Oslo. Thank you. All right, Jen, who's first?
Illusion.
Robert, get Discord. I don't know why you don't get Discord. It's free. What's up, Illusion?
Yo.
Hey.
Hey, I am a coward. I am a coward. Hi, Jen. I just want to make sure I talk to you. I'll keep it short. But listen, this last week, I had a conversation with my father-in-law who was being kind and helping me out or whatever. He's been a financial advisor for some large meat packing and meat cutting plants all across the United States. And he still thinks that tariffs are paid by the other countries. So in that moment, I could have rose up and started showing him the proof and broke it down for him and completely alienated him and I's relationship and thrown a thorn in between me and my wife and, spun the whole shit out of control over his ignorance, or I could have rolled over like I did and just allowed him to continue to be a moron. And he says all sorts of other messed up stuff about people that are oppressed.
Wait, so what's he saying, that the price of beef isn't going up? Is that what he's saying?
No, he's saying that the tariffs are paid by the other countries.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, just basic shit. And he's quite financially set, and he's not a stupid guy. Just when it comes to whatever Trump says, he just swallows that shit down.
Did you ask him to Google it? I'm always baffled by people who just like don't Google it. What do they think? What do they think?
As soon as I pull out my phone, because I've tried this before, I've had multiple conversations with it. As soon as I pull out my phone, he disengages from the conversation because he says that's not you can't trust what's on the internet.
You can just trust the 80-year-old crazy dude.
I told him, I'm like, why do you trust him? And he's just like, why do you trust what you look at? I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe I am a coward.
Well, let me just say this. Look, there are, you can't always go after people. Like, especially when it comes to family, you do have to kind of take it slow. I don't advocate that anybody like abandon their family over their views. The only thing you can do is keep trying to plant those seeds and figure out ways to open up discussion. I think an instance here, like, would just now that you know this and he knows that, like, and you're looking at beef prices, like, just maybe ask him next time you see him, be like, hey, how come beef is getting so expensive? Like, I went to the store. Can you tell me? Start asking him questions that you know the answers to, and see if he can give you the answers. And if he doesn't know, just keep asking. Sometimes that's the way to go. Okay. A lot of times people with pride want to have the answer and not be given the answer. And that's a good way I've found with some of my friends, is to ask questions and pretend I don't know.
Like it was his discovery and not
Yep.
me knowing it the whole time. All right, thanks, man.
Yeah. All right,
Sorry,
brother.
Jen, that was late.
No,
Bye.
you did well. Be well. See you, bud.
All right, later.
Swish.
Hey.
Hello, Double Daddy.
Hey.
Sister Wife 69, reporting for duty.
Yes.
I had a whole big story for you today, but I gotta tell you, your chat was extra fucking disgusting today.
Yeah.
So much so, that I turned it off. You know, that military man, that is no longer gonna get his pension, etc. You know, MAGA's arguments, they're not cohesive, they don't line up, and the synapses, they don't fire
Yeah.
from one to the other, like they don't track. Because I'd like to see one of those MAGA men watch that guy walk into the bathroom. Like, where no men in women's bathrooms. Where do they want to put him? We
Yeah.
want everybody to go in the birth bath, like it,
No, because they don't want him to
then,
exist. That's the
oh my
reality.
God.
They
Yeah,
don't think that
it
person
is.
should exist. He shouldn't have the right to
is.
exist how he wants to. That's the real argument.
Yeah.
And that's why I
It's-
say they're all bitches. They won't say what they really mean. It's not about women's
No, they are-
sports. It's not about protecting women. You just don't want that person to exist in the way that they exist.
No, it is. They are absolute bitches. And MAGA men are the worst. They're dangerous. And we talk about it on these platforms all the time. And they get mad and angry and scream and they threaten. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to knock you out, bitch. Like all of this stuff. And they, you know, and in your chat, oh, Lincoln Riley, say her name. Like, bitch, shut up, because you don't know about the 3 women that are unalived every single day in this country by men they know, by their own intimate partners. You don't know a single one of their names. And when we try to talk to you about that, you tell us that that shit is not going on. So, like, your argument for one, you only know her name because of the circumstance of her death, of
Yeah.
her murder, which was absolutely horrible. And there is no one on the left side that is going to say it's not. You kill somebody, you pay for that, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
But you people don't give a shit about her because you don't give a shit about any of the other women or anyone else dying in this country. 9 out of 10 times, Jay, I'm gentle parenting. Today's not the fucking day for that. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's fucked up. Y'all are fucked up, MAGA. Do fucking better, you baby shit soft motherfuckers. All right, here's what I'm gonna say. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
2.
Did you say 2?
Yep.
To who?
That's to whom? Sir.
You gotta go. See ya.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, who's next?
Marlene. You're muted, Marlene. There you go.
Sorry.
Hey.
Hey, I don't know if I can go 4 days without you again.
I bet you can. I think you got it.
No, seriously, I missed you, but I did survive, so all's well.
Good to hear from you.
I would like to just say one more thing about what Swish just said. It's wrong that they're kicking them out. It is cruel that they're taking away the retirement that they earned.
Yeah.
And that's just there's nothing human about that at all.
Just like, just integrity. Like, if you promise somebody something and they work for it for 18 years, you're going to pull that from them because of who, like, even if you don't want, like, if Pete Hegseth was like, we don't want trans people to serve in the military, I would still have a problem with it. But then to take that extra step of saying none of your service was relevant at all, and like, I'm not going to give you what we promised you. That's the part. Like, where's the integrity from MAGA here? I don't agree with what you're doing with the military in general. However, if I had a friend who was trans who was like, I might join the military, I'd say maybe now's not the time. But then to like just say like, you know, fuck you, we're not going to keep any of the promises. The same way they do with reparations. The same way they do with everything. There's no integrity out of these people who love to claim like, oh, I'm a good Christian. I'm about honesty. Like, you're just going to abandon somebody after 18 years of your life? Put yourself in somebody's shoes. This person spent their life.
Promises made, promises kept, right?
Yeah, they depended on this. And then you're just like, no, I don't like who you are, so now you no longer get. And for no reason either. It's paid for. We can afford it. It's not like we don't have the money to pay for it. It's literally just like, fuck you. You shouldn't exist.
Are they going to start taking away Social Security that people have earned because of they don't like who they are?
Yeah.
Probably that's next.
Yeah, probably. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And the last thing I wanted to say really quickly, I know I've only got 9 more seconds. For all those off-gridder people that what are they, sovereign citizens, taxes, theft.
Yeah.
Maybe we can turn that into tariffs or theft.
That's a good idea. There we go. That's true. I'm going to use that.
They're stealing from us. Use it. Please do. You've got a bigger audience than I do. So anything I say to you is always yours to use.
I'll make sure the trademark goes to you.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
See ya. Have a good weekend. All right, who's next, Jen?
Dolphin.
Hey.
Hello. Pleasure to finally meet you, Jay.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
I literally when that gentleman was talking, how can MAGA be so heartless with people who have served in the military? I can't. My dad was a Vietnam veteran. He's gone now. He passed away in 2018. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this and I'm going, what happened? And you know what? I honestly believe. I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but
great.
I honestly believe that MAGA are like the product of like the people that Reagan released from the mental institutions.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, I know he closed down a lot of mental institutions and a lot of people were back on the street.
You know what? I don't even want to give them that. Like the reality is these are just incredibly selfish people who live in a bubble and they're terrified of anything that's different than them. I don't even think like it's a mental condition. It's a choice. It's a choice to not have empathy. It's a choice to not want to evolve. It's a choice to, I mean, it's mostly fear. It's just people don't, these folks are afraid of anything changing. They're afraid of adapting, and that's a fear that we all have. Like change is hard, adaptation is hard, and that's what MAGA really is. It's a movement that says you don't have to change. In fact, change is evil. In fact, if somebody says that we should change something, they are evil. They are the enemy. They are the problem, and we must remove them. Like it's way worse than that. It's just a bunch of fearful cowards that blame everybody for their own problems or even perceived problems.
Believe me, I know this, RTP. I was born
Yeah.
physically disabled.
Yeah.
I have a lot of physical problems. I've been bullied my whole life. I'm sorry, Jen, I'm going a little over the
You're
time.
fine.
But I don't like bullies. I recognize bullies. I can point them out. I don't like this administration. They're nothing but a bunch of bullies, and I've learned that bullies are nothing but freaking cowards. You want to
Yeah.
know why? Because I said 3 o'clock at the Rock every single time. I'm only 4'5.5". These people were taller than me. But at any length, I also wanted to come up to say, I love it when you call them little bitches, and for some reason, your laugh makes me giggle. Thank
you.
Thank you guys for doing what you're doing. And Devo, if up there, I love the picture of Dorothy. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so sorry I went over time.
You did great. Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
We'll see it. Thanks, Jamie. All right, who's next?
Diva.
Devo. How about
Hi,
that?
how are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I'm glad you liked my bad rainbow joke.
I loved it. That was so good.
I have another one for you because the world sucks and we need to laugh. Why did this there's some background, someone, sorry. Why did the stallion cross the road?
I don't know.
To meet his neighbors.
I love that. I loved that one.
No, but great show as always. I know we're not like on oh no, we are on YouTube. Yeah. Fuck you, MAGA. You suck. Step on a Lego, all of the above. And I hope you have a horrible weekend. But to everybody in RTP fam, I hope you have a
Wonderful weekend. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you. See ya.
All right, bye.
Who's next?
Kirsten.
Who?
Hello.
Kirsten.
Hey, Kirsten.
Hello. Oh, I have a question for you. Do you know the Equal Rights Initiative.org?
I don't know. Let me pull it up. I don't think I know. I don't know if I've been there before. Equal right.
Okay.
I'll pull it up. Go ahead.
It's a map of people that their lives were taken away simply because they didn't follow the laws during the segregation period during Jim Crow.
Okay.
And MAGA, they want to feel like they want to have, how should I say this without being insensitive? They want to feel like they're being prosecuted, but it was during that time period, and we're seeing that hatred still going into today of how not all white people, but mostly people that want to segregate wants to bring that back. But
Could it real quick? Could it maybe be equaljustice.org?
Yes, Equal Justice. Sorry.
I found it. It's all right. I just
I'm
couldn't find it.
sorry.
Keep going. I got it pulled up on the screen now so people can see it.
Okay, sorry. My brain's having a hard time speaking. So like I know there's these towns that are promoting segregation, but I'm just saying the people that lives were taken away was during segregation, and I just hope they understand history, and I give MAGA some homework to do to understand this and understand that if you support someone that's in segregation, to make sure they never go up to this level.
I love that. I'll have to check this out. Thank you for making me aware of this.
No problem. Wonderful show. I hope you and Jen have a wonderful weekend, and see you next time.
Thanks. See you next time.
Yep, bye.
All right, Jen. Who's next?
Mama Aurora.
Hey.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I haven't talked to you guys in quite a few weeks, so I have my usual list of things. And we're gonna focus around tired. Like that's just been I'm back in school, so I'm tired, right? But also I'm tired of being told how supposedly we just incite violence with all of our words, and we're literally just fighting for basic rights for everybody to be able to exist. I'm tired of I'm tired of them collecting weapons and running around wearing them like there's some sort of badge.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being told that I just argue just to be right, when all it is I have a strong sense of justice, truth, data, and facts. And I'm tired of being told to sit down and shut the fuck up and fall in line. I don't have the energy to deal with the constant attacks when I'm fighting to help other people be able to exist the way that I do. I understand and recognize that I have privilege. But I'm tired of others who also have that privilege telling me that I'm in the wrong. So that's what I got.
That's well done. Yeah, really well done.
Thanks. I'm in a writing class, so I don't know. Whatever. That's
where
I'm at right now.
Tired's such a good word for it because it just emotionally gets exhausting. To like, it's never ending with these folks. It's like, I know you can't see it now. Just even looking in the YouTube chat while you're talking, like the anger out of some of these dipshits is absolutely dragging on your soul. If you have any semblance of a soul, hanging around with these people will drain that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on a positive note, so my kid just started his senior year, and we were talking about like, hey, I don't know what I want to do with my life, blah blah blah. How did you end up in your career? I don't know if I want to go to school. Da da da. So we were talking about it, and I just asked him. I was like, hey, what do you enjoy? What are you good at? All of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And right now it's just video games and talking shit to his friends. But he finally landed on he wants to do something to be able to fix what all of the generations before his have done on everybody's lives in the world. And I'm like, holy fuck, kid, like, way to be deep in that. And he said that he wants to improve the lives for others.
Yeah. Gen Z's, they have to fix this. And,
Yeah.
but they also recognize what they're dealing with. Like, imagine being a Gen Zer right now and looking at your future. Like, I'll never afford a
Yeah.
house. I can't afford college. Like, there's nothing for them. The country's completely in debt. You have a bunch of baby boomers now, like trying to like live out the rest of their years with all the benefits that they set aside for themselves, while just stealing from younger generations. So we can't apologize enough to what we've done to Gen Z and these future generations.
And that's why I will never tell them not to fight for what they believe in.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
So, anyways, I know I'm a little over time.
You're
Have
good.
a great weekend,
Keep
guys.
battling. We'll see it.
Bye.
Unicorn Princess Daddy.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome. I like the name change. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I gotta say,
shit, this is Von
Mama.
Swede? This whole time I didn't know that was you. Oh, okay. Hey.
It's me. Hi.
Hey.
And I gotta say, Mama Rara put a tear in my eye. That was beautifully said, and I hope she can put that into like a poem or something. That was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, post that in the Discord, Mama Rara.
Yeah, that was really beautiful. I started crying here. Sorry. I don't know what happened. Yeah, 4 days without you was a little bit long. And also the show yesterday was the worst show we ever done. Like, in a good way.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was fucking awful in a good way.
Thank you.
And then ending on the note you did today was rough.
Yeah.
But it's good. Like, it's in all the deep dives you've done lately, I really like them.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Putting things into perspective, and I know it takes a lot of work, I bet, but it's so worth it. Like, those shows are really just all the pieces, like with Trump's connections with Russia and everything, just putting all those pieces together, like.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it is a lot of work, but I do enjoy it. It's when you have the deep dives, like that'll lock me in a little more. Those are kind of good for ADHD. If I can, it's the days when there's not like anything to go deep on that are actually the harder ones for me, where it's just like headlines. So ironically, the stuff that like emotionally drains me the most is also the stuff that I'm going to wind up doing more. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Those shows are so good. It's so worth it. They are so good.
Thank you.
I really enjoy those.
I appreciate it.
And I cannot get the red heifers from yesterday out of my head. And then Jen's pictures are giving me nightmares.
Well done, Jen. That's Jen's goal usually most days, is to give people nightmares. So it works out.
Right.
Yeah.
To steal something from the other Amanda, nightmares are dreams. So
that's true.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So anyway, no, great job. And it's been shows lately have been like emotional, like you said, but really, really good.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the hard work you do.
I appreciate that. And thanks for being here. It's good talking to you again.
Yeah, it's been a while, so I figured I'll stop by, but I didn't expect Mama Rara to put me started crying.
She does that. Have a good weekend.
You too, and you too, Jen.
We'll see it.
See ya.
Who's next?
Cameron.
Hey, Cameron.
Hey, RTP.
Hey.
Hey, this is my first time up here, and thank you, Jen, because I'm Discord illiterate and couldn't figure out what the hell I was doing. Hey, I just wanted to come up because I listen to you, religiously every single day.
Thank you.
I tell my girlfriend about you all the time. I wouldn't be nearly as informed if it wasn't for you. So I really appreciate everything you do and all the work you put into everything you do. So first I just wanted to say thank you. But mainly I wanted to tell you a joke that I've been saving for a few weeks because I know you appreciate jokes so much.
Yes.
All right. So, why does the Avon lady walk funny? Because her lips stick. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to thank you for everything you do, and also Andrew Wilson's a bitch.
Back to back bangers. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too. We'll see you. All right. Who's next?
Yeah.
Who?
Hap's here.
Oh, hey, Hap.
Oh, Captivity. Yeah, and I don't know what happened on YouTube, but it actually changed my name, like just on your what is it?
I think it's something. I noticed that. I don't know if they did something like TikTok did at one point in time where they changed the names to go to whatever like the at is.
Yeah. No, I
I don't
actually
know
went
if
and looked in the like account settings and stuff, and like it does show you that like the different accounts you use, like this is what you're going to present as on that account, and it says I'm supposed to be Haptivity still on there. But anyway, I know it's not your guys' fault. I just thought it was interesting. I'm into the hashtag TikToknical back.
I don't think we should rule out it. I don't think we should rule out it being my fault. To be honest, like
It's,
it could be. It could be me. We can't entirely rule that out.
All scales blame Jay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't start out with I hate you, Jen. Hate you, Jay.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you guys so yeah, anima and then Haptivity. Okay, yeah, we covered that. All right. And then now for everybody else listening, I'm empathy is the meaning of life. So that's something I learned years back. That would be what I would tell anyone if they asked me.
Yeah.
What's the kind words I would give to everybody? Empathy is the meaning of life. And Jay, you present that daily. And Jen, I hate you. So I wanted to point out.
No, I'm not into that. I mean, it's shit. We've been over this. We know that.
I wanted to point out because somebody did mention something I've always believed, feeling that I had researched it properly years ago, that Ronald Reagan was the one that closed down a lot of the mental facilities and what they used to call asylums. We're not supposed to use that word anymore. I just wanted to point out that's what they called them then.
Okay.
And it was actually years earlier when I did some further digging, because that was really important to me, because there's the whole Republican talking point about it's all about mental health. Like Republicans, they are the ones that did that though. Like, but it started decades before Ronald Reagan, and he just was maybe the best president at doing that. But anyway, thanks to both of you. And I try to get in here last, and I try to wait until like the last few minutes, so you're like, okay, we can finally leave. The week's over.
And then
this is gonna be glorious. You can enjoy our Fridays, and then I'm like, here I am. But this time I didn't pull a J and stayed muted. So you're welcome, Jay.
Thanks.
All right.
Have a good weekend. All right. Is that everybody, Jen?
That's everybody.
Did I miss any comments that you know of?
Oh yeah.
I did.
More.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you message them to me? Let me look.
Every time.
Siobhan says at work, so I can't participate in Friendly Friday, but I just wanted to make a PSA. Punch more Nazis. Always a good idea. Jamie said happy Friendly Friday. Thanks for another great week. Jamar says I don't have any funny things to say. I hope you, Jen, and everyone has a great weekend. Thank you. Julie said RTP, and I think those are it, right? I don't see any on my
yeah,
end.
but we Q's here.
Oh, hey.
Hey, sorry about that.
Hey, good.
I saw the comment there that somebody said they were at work, and I was like, I am too, but you know what? I'm losing my job, so fuck it.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know if you remember, I had hurt my back, and I was out on disability for a while.
Oh, that's right.
And then before I went to come back, I found out that they were closing down my center. So I was like, oh, well, that sucks.
When does that happen?
The 15th, so next Friday.
Yeah, damn. That sucks. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, it's all right. This was supposed to be a second security blanket besides some friends that I'm staying with, so I could go back to school and be all that I can be, but not in the military.
Not in the Army.
Yeah, definitely not. I definitely appreciate everything that you guys do. I definitely know that there's some times when you go on debates that I'm just like, God, I wish he would let me up so I could scream at them.
That might be the message I get the most.
Yeah, I'm just like, tell them they're all bitches and to shut the fuck up. But yeah, just wanted to come up, say hello. Thank you,
Thanks, brother.
both of you, Jen and Jay. So I guess I'll have more time in 2 weeks.
All right. Well, then make sure you show up on Friendly Fridays. We expect you now.
Absolutely. And
All right.
always fuck text, fuck MAGA. And love empathy.
And love empathy. I love it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks guys. Take care.
Have a good weekend.
Hey, I'm gonna call something out really fast. I'm seeing some people in the YouTube chat, and I know they're on, when I imagine me saying this with air quotes, our side. If you are being disgusting, misogynistic, calling people, women, not nice names, you're going to get timed out or banned. Just because you're on the left doesn't mean we think that's okay. You need to knock it off, or I'm going to time you out.
Take that. Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of it. It's pretty fucking gross. You need to stop. I don't care if you're on our side or not.
All right. Well, whoever just got in trouble, I don't envy you. Thanks, Jen. All right. Anything from you, Jen, before we go?
Nope. That's about it.
Okay.
I think we hit the gift goal. So thanks for that, guys. Appreciate it. And then just check out our link tree for our other, where we're on other platforms. We are trying to get things moved up for Spotify. Let me look at that really fast before we go.
I'll address Lee. You absolutely can embrace empathy and call people bitches. You can call people Nazis and call people nationalists. If the shoe fits, wear it. There's nothing wrong with saying those words if they are correct. And by the way, I call everybody bitches, and you are welcome to call me a bitch too. The difference between the two of us is I'm not a bitch. So if you call me a bitch, I don't get worked up about it. But yeah, we do that here. You can have empathy and call people bitches. It's fair.
Yeah. So what it looks like is we got Chris, we're wrapping up. Damn you. So we're trying to people on for Spotify. And right now we're at 186 to go check out an episode or two. So we're a ways away from that, and we need to hit 10,000 consumption hours, and we're at 11, almost 1,200. So if you guys could go watch an episode on Spotify, the link's in the bio. That'd be great.
Real quick, Lisa said, for all you do to educate MAGA. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. What's up, Chris?
Hey, dude.
Hey, you here to talk to me or?
Yeah, I just wanted to do I knew you guys wanted to end, so I figured I would just wait until the absolute last second and pop in.
Yeah, welcome.
How's everything, man? I haven't been on in a while.
No, try again.
I really didn't have much to say, so I figured maybe just a bit of small talk, like
pass.
Wow.
Yeah.
After all we've been through.
Yeah.
This is how I get treated.
100%.
All right. Well, I guess that's what it is then.
All right. I like the lime green bandana today. That's a nice look for you.
Thank you. It matches the green on my shirt. I try to,
Oh, you fancy.
That's how we do it here. But I did miss I was in and out of the shop today. Is there debates coming up? Like what's going on? What's on the agenda?
Monday. Yeah, I have a debate on Raging Tomatoes YouTube with Rob Noor on Monday.
Monday. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Anything this weekend?
Nothing
TikTok?
this weekend. I'm taking the weekend off. I need a break.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, man, go do your thing, brother.
All right,
I'm going back. I'm working. You know what I mean? It's just fine. Yeah.
Doing my thing. I was glad I got to see you. Have a good weekend, man.
See you, buddy.
See you. All right, everybody. We'll be back Monday morning and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. to 1 Pacific Standard Time here on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Just one announcement. On weeks when I have debates at night, I'm going to choose to take Thursdays off. So this coming week on Thursday, there will be no shows. And going forward, that's kind of how I'm going to do it. If there's a night... Oh.
Sorry. So wait. Is there a show Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay, someone said something in the comments I didn't know. I think something about 4 days off. Maybe it was right.
They were talking about the 4 days off I took last week.
Okay, so you're saying that there's not going to be a show when this week?
Thursday.
Yep. Okay.
So on weeks when we have a debate, no matter what night it is, I'll take Thursdays off. That's usually a slow news day, and I'm usually tired that day. So there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, we'll see you Monday morning. Take care of yourselves. Stay cute and cool, and have a great summer.